Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of the Las Vegas Advisor Weekly Update with Anthony and Andrew. Today is Thursday, November 14th, in the year 2024. Boy, and that Vegas Matt interview is still cooking on the internet.
Right, yeah. We're, 105,000 views?
By far our biggest video ever.
800 comments, 1,000 new subscribers for our channel.
Yeah.
So welcome to the new Vegas Matt fans who liked us enough. Out of 105,000, 1,000 of them said I'll subscribe.
Cool.
A little under 1%.
That's pretty good, I think, for YouTube.
It's okay. That's fine. You know, it's like they do one thing, we do something else. It was cool after the follow-up last week where we kind of dissected what we did in that interview. We got a lot more people doing, saying more of the same. That they telling us, how much they like to watch Vegas Matt and his crew play.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that they're so entertaining, so funny, and they really set the standard high for a lot of these other gaming influencers that we see online.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they got the right recipe. Their recipe is the one that people enjoy, and we got a lot more information. So, watch the show, read the comments. They're enlightening. We're going to have another one on. We're going to have Matt Borey from the Jackpot Gents in 2 weeks.
That's right, and they got a really fun channel that dates back actually years on YouTube.
Yeah, and more video poker than slots. So we'll see what another Matt has to say in a couple of weeks.
Hey guys, it's Andrew from the Las Vegas Advisor, reminding you to go to the description box in the video and click on the link to get your member rewards coupon book. So when you come to Vegas, you can save thousands on all sorts of fun stuff to do. Happy couponing.
All right, so Anthony, people can't say that we don't ever break news. This is breaking news coming from the Las Vegas Strip at the Wynn. What's going on?
Well, yeah, we just found out about this morning, and we inserted it into the show. Tillman Fertitta, who is the cousin of Frank and Lorenzo Fertitta, who of Station Casinos in Red Rock, has now become the biggest stakeholder in Wynn Las Vegas.
That's really interesting.
Or in
right?
the Wynn, in the all of Wynn, including Wynn Las Vegas, Encore, the Wynn casinos. Takes his stake to 9.9%.
Okay.
And he was second biggest stakeholder behind Elaine Wynn for, forever, but he's now gone above her. And, there's some speculation that he wants in on the United Arab Emirates thing where Wynn has just been licensed in the Middle East.
Okay.
And it's going to be a big deal. But the big question for me is, how's that going to work? He's going to be a decision maker now. He's going to put himself on the board, and he's known for chains like Landry's.
Landry's, that's right.
More of a discount chain. The Golden Nugget brand, which is sort of in the middle, but not quite the upper echelon. So it'll be interesting to see what Tillman does now as kind of a new boss at the Wynn.
Well, additionally, Tillman is in development on the south end of the Strip.
Yeah, he's a player, man. He's going to build his own casino at the Strip in Harmon, kind of across from Aria.
Right, so which is a really hot part of town.
Yeah, so he's going to be the biggest stockholder in Wynn Las Vegas on the north and Encore, and have his own ownership on the south side. So interesting to see, the dynamics are going to change a little bit.
That's right. And as we've said in the past, the Wynn does it right. When you go to the Wynn, they're a very classy casino, great place to stay, great place to play poker.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that Wynn isn't the best high-end casino. So it'll be interesting to see if he lets it remain there.
All right, Anthony, we've been prepping for a little while. It's not been as bad this year as last year, but Formula One is next week.
Yeah, next week they'll be in town. The course is, everyone's saying, how big is the course? And I said, I don't know, 3 or 4 miles. It's 3.8.
Okay.
All right. So it's going to, a big part of it runs down the Strip. So here was the people who are running it. This was the warning to everybody. They said it's going to be challenging.
Okay.
For a couple of days, Thursday through Sunday, or basically Wednesday through Sunday. Expect traffic delays and plan for alternative routes. This is all going to start at midnight on Tuesday and run through 4 a.m. Sunday.
Okay.
So obviously during the race, close to the race, everything will be shut down in that 3.8 area and even some of the adjoining streets. And they will open during the days partially. So there's going to be traffic snarls and jams and everything. Just be ready for it.
Now, Anthony, I thought we had avoided all culinary union strikes, but it turns out, I believe, something's going on at the Virgin. They're going to strike, the culinary guys.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, we're putting this out on Friday. I'm sorry, we're putting this out on Thursday, and on Friday they are due to walk out.
Okay.
And they're the only ones that could not come to an agreement with the culinary, and the culinary kind of put it off. They had like a mini strike, a mini strike for one weekend. 6 months ago. Still nothing has happened, and I think they mean business this time. So they're talking about, obviously they're leveraging the time with F1 coming to town.
Okay.
So they're using that again. They're promising or threatening work stoppage and round the clock picket lines.
Wow.
So be aware, if you've got things coming up, you're going to deal potentially. Sometimes these things at the 11th hour get solved, but potentially there's going to be pickets at Virgin starting tomorrow.
Okay. Well, we're hoping for a speedy resolution, and
for both sides.
Yeah.
You want the workers to get their what they're due, and you want the casinos to be able to run a business. So hopefully they come to a resolution.
Now, this is a follow-up to last week. We're talking about the Silver Sevens Blackjack Tournament. Anthony, you're in the finals.
Yeah, well, semifinals.
Okay,
And
semifinals.
Semifinals and finals are going to be played Saturday. But the important thing is that qualifying is tonight, Thursday, the 14th, and tomorrow, Friday, the 15th. You're still time. All you got to do is go there. It's free to play.
Okay.
It's a winner-take-all, 100,000. We're going to play that off. There'll be 36 left, or 36 qualify for the semifinals on Saturday. I'm among them. This will you need to get your name in the drum and be there between now and 6 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
Same thing tomorrow, and then they'll have a drawing that evening. You have to be there. If they call your name, you go and play. 6 tables of 6, one person advance. Go to the finals on Saturday, and try to win $100K.
Yeah.
And if you're really good, don't come.
And as always, we do need to talk about the Circa Survivor competition. How we doing, Anthony? How did this week go?
Well, there's another 50 or so people got put out.
Okay.
They got put out when a couple of favorites lost.
Okay.
And we're down from 151 to 105 remaining.
105 people left in the competition.
105 out of almost 14,300. That makes the expected value of each remaining competitor's entry 135,866.
Wow, there you go. Okay.
That's what they're worth. And we, like we talked before, there's dealing. People are selling off shares. And I've been party to a few of them.
Okay.
People call and say, you know anybody? I go, yeah, I know a few people. And I put them together, and they've made some deals.
All right. Interesting and fun, right? I mean, people do this because it's a way to make money, but it's also fun.
Yeah, I'm still hanging on to my 1% of 2 entries.
Okay, there you go. You're still in it.
1% of 14 million is pretty good.
Now, this one I'm really excited about because, it's Jake Paul, it's Mike Tyson. It's going to be a big fight,
Tomorrow.
Netflix. I mean, Anthony, what's the line?
Well, first of all, let's put it in perspective.
Okay.
Right? You got 58-year-old Mike Tyson
Right,
fighting 27-year-old Jake Paul.
right.
All right, so Jake Paul is, I think, rightfully the favorite,
Okay,
minus 240. If you want to bet Tyson, you can get plus 200, 2-1.
okay.
And there's been a lot, quite a bit of Tyson money. People want to bet on what he was.
Right.
But I think he's got a tough one there,
Okay.
And they're going to be fighting with bigger gloves, and it's going to be shorter rounds, and it's going to be an 8
2-minute rounds.
2-minute rounds instead
Yeah.
of 3. It's going to be an 8-round fight.
Okay.
I'm actually looking. I don't think Tyson can beat him. I mean, he can, but I don't expect Tyson to beat him. But I could see this thing going the distance.
Okay.
You
You
know,
could
I
see
mean-
it going to going it. Yeah.
So I'm looking at the over 5.5 rounds. Over 5.5, you can get for about minus 125, I think, minus 130.
Okay.
And that's what I'm looking at probably. I'll probably make a bet on that. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, if Tyson still got it, then he's got it. But at 58, I've been there. I've been at 58. It's not easy, man.
All right. But you're going to watch the fight?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to watch it.
All right. You're going to bet on it?
I'm going to bet on it.
All right. Me too. And in this week's question of the week, this is one I want to know about too. What's going on with the book, The Advantage Players? I bought it several months ago, and it's not available yet. Question mark.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's a question we've been getting from customers.
That's right.
And so it's a good question of the week for us to do because it's true. That book has been advertised and we've been selling it for quite a while. So I wanted to make an explanation about it. The reason that we came out so early with this and offered it well before publication date was because there was a chance that it was going to appear, the cover would appear on 60 Minutes.
Okay.
All right, that's when I did the 60 Minute show.
That's right.
They came to the office. They asked me about that book specifically because we talked about Advantage Play in that interview on 60 Minutes, and they took a picture of the screen with the mock-up, of the cover. So we had the cover, we had the mock-up there, and they said they might use it. I didn't think there was much of a chance they would, and they didn't. But because we did that, we kind of had to go through with the whole thing and make it available to the public. We sold it at a really good discount, 30% discount with free shipping.
Okay.
I think $18.71 as opposed to the $26 or $27 it will be. And that's still available now,
Okay.
in fact. But we are close.
So
right?
link in the description box.
Yeah, right now we are in final production.
Okay.
So it's about to go. Everything's going to change. It's not going to be the Advantage Players. It's going to be Advantage Players only. The cover that you're seeing, that we have now, is going to be different.
Okay.
So everything's going to be different. But this is it's a good book. And I mean, we put it through all of its paces. It's ready to go to the printer.
Okay.
And it's going to be, available, if not by Christmas, very, very close to Christmas. It just depends on how long it takes to print.
Okay. Can we talk about some of the games that people are going to find in the Advantage Players?
Well, it's not the games as much as just Advantage, how Advantage Play works.
Okay.
And it's not just gambling.
Okay.
It's for, there are several stories about gambling with a lot of people that you've heard of and people that you haven't, like even including Mattress Mac.
Okay.
A story about Mattress Mac, because that's what he does. He's an advantage gambler, what he does with his hedging of his promotions.
Interesting, right.
John Chang from the MIT team, a guy named Eddie Teams that nobody's ever heard of, a female named RX Gambler.
And he says, nobody's ever heard of me. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, kind of, right? But no, it's going to be a good book, but it's also going to talk about people who take advantage or use Advantage Play in other walks of life and in other, ambitions and businesses.
Fantastic.
It's going to be good. And it's part of a big lineup we got coming. So I mean, we'll just go over these real quickly. These are the books that we expect to have by Christmas or close to Christmas. Okay, the Advantage Players. We're doing one called Breaking the Slot Code.
Okay.
And this is for slot machine players, and this is all about the Advantage slots.
Okay.
All right.
So this is the one that people want. This is like some of the stuff you'll find in Gambling 102 and
Yeah, taking it a lot farther.
okay.
Professional Blackjack. We're going to re-release this. This is the classic by Stanford Wong.
Okay.
One of the first books I ever read. It's still completely valid. It's terrific, and it's been expanded hugely. We've included like 3 books: Professional Blackjack, Basic Blackjack, Blackjack Secrets, other books that Wong has done.
Okay.
Interesting one here: The Mathematical Theory of the Game of Baccarat.
Okay.
Now, this was a French book that was published in 1873.
Oh, you're kidding.
We've had it translated. We got the rights. We've had it translated, and it's a classic. We're going to publish it.
People forget how old these gambling games are.
Oh gosh, they go back. Well, if you really want to talk about it, a lot of these gambling games go back to, BC. I mean, they've been doing these things for thousands of years.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Report, Lockdown Edition. It depends on Grosjean.
Okay.
He's just about done. He's done all of his calculations. He's sending me some edits, so that's going to be close.
I know that's one of your favorite authors.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big one.
Yeah.
And then one more, and we didn't publish this, but we're gonna have a gambler's calendar. It's gonna be a day-by-day calendar with gambling advice and gambling trivia.
Okay.
And things like that. 365 days worth.
Nice.
And this is done by one of the subjects in the Advantage Player and
Okay.
Advantage Players that we talked about earlier.
All right. So
we got a
if
good
you
lineup
like,
coming up.
Yeah, if you like calendars, get ready to get your 2025 calendar. And in this week's Jackpot of the Week, oh, wait, before we get into it, we have to address last week's Jackpot of the Week. What happened, Anthony?
I goofed.
Okay.
Yeah, I goofed. It was brought to my attention by several.
Of our commenters and our
Yeah.
viewers. So thanks, guys. Good looking out.
Yeah, I misidentified the game.
Right. You thought we were playing double bonus.
Double, and there's no excuse for that. I've got to be more careful. but I just looked at it and it looked like double, and it was triple double.
Right.
Right. So it does make a difference. Now, they look a lot alike because in that photo you could only see the bottom of the schedule, and they look almost identical. But the giveaway, of course, was the $4,000 payoff for a non-royal.
Right. In triple double, you win 4,000 credits for aces with a kicker, which is equal to a royal flush.
Yeah. So that game, and the other thing is I don't play triple double because you don't find very many triple double schedules that are worth playing.
That's right.
And for example, that machine was paying only 98.15% was the return on that, but that aces with the kicker was hit, and I said that the advice on that was that you should not have held the kicker with 3 aces and the kicker. If you had 3 aces and a deuce and held a deuce, I said, well, you're not supposed to, which you are not in double double, but in triple double, because of that big premium on the aces, that was the correct play, holding the kicker. So my apologies to the jackpot hitter and to all those people who took the wrong advice from me. I will try to be more careful.
All right. And just so everybody knows, I knew it was triple double. I just thought
Speak
that you're.
up. You gotta speak up.
No, I knew it was triple double. I just thought you were never supposed to hold the kicker. So this is something I learned, that if you're playing triple double and you get 3 aces with a deuce, you hold all 4.
That's correct.
And now for this week's Jackpot of the Week. It says a friend of mine hit a $20,000 Royal Flush at Resorts World Bar. Then 2 days later, playing at Fountain Blue, she hit another $20,000 Royal Flush. She is a video poker influencer, and her channel is Casino Kelly. I thought that this would be a good story for your channel, since one $20,000 jackpot is hard enough to hit, let alone 2. And Fountain Blue and Resorts World, they're right across from each other.
Yeah, your stomping grounds.
Yeah, the north end of the Strip. It's a lot of fun to go play in those places.
And here we go with another influencer.
Yes,
Right?
Casino Kelly. I checked out the channel.
Yeah, me too. I looked it up, and she's got about 36,000 subscribers.
That's right.
And what's different here is she's playing video poker mostly. Although when I looked at it too, I saw slots.
I saw some blackjack. Yeah, she plays a lot of different things.
Well, she's playing $5 video poker, so she's a baller.
Yeah,
And hit 2 20K royals.
that's incredible. That'll get you ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. It's interesting doing this as a video poker influencer. You really got to hope that people are watching for the entertainment, because it's tough to play. And the games she was playing, now I was careful about these games.
Yes, of course.
After last week, right? The game she's playing is double bonus.
Okay.
And double bonus is a difficult game to play properly. And, I don't know how good she is because I haven't watched her play, but there's a big difference in the game she's playing. I mean, she's playing a 9-6-5 double-double, and then she's playing a 9-7-5 double-double.
Okay.
And everything changes when you go from 9-6-5 to 9-7-5.
Well, sure, 975 is better.
Yeah, it's better. Well, the 965 returns 97.81%. The 975 is 99.11.
Okay, much better.
Significantly better.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, like in the one hand, she held the king 10, which is the right play on 9-6. On 9-7, it's also the correct play unless you've got another club.
Okay.
If she had a third club, let's say she had a king 10-6, in 9-7, you hold the king 10-6. You wouldn't even hold the 2 to the royal.
Okay,
So
good to
we don't-
know.
Yeah, we don't see what she threw away. Okay, anyway, 2 $20,000 jackpots is darn good.
Yeah.
Maybe we have her on the show.
That would be great.
She can tell us about it, and she can tell us how she came about with the idea of playing video poker, especially these difficult schedules.
And that's it for this week. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Remember, you can go to the description box and get your Las Vegas Advisor coupon book, your member rewards book. Anything to add, Anthony?
Only next Friday. Mark your calendars. The 22nd will be Beer Friday.
That's right. Time to pound some beers with us.
We will do that, and I guess, and then that's it.
Okay. We'll see you next Friday with the Beer Friday. We got the Matt Borey interview from the Jackpot Gents coming up soon.
Welcome to Modern Word Ministries. I'm Deacon Tom Moore, and on behalf of my wife Kim and myself, we want to welcome you. And just to let you know that whether you're here in person or you're tuning in on social media, we appreciate that you have chosen to spend a little bit of your day with us. Before we get to this week's message, just a couple of quick things I'd like to cover. You know, we have an amazing website, and everything you want to do with us and we want to do with you can be found there. You can get on our prayer list on the website. You can do your tithes and offerings over the website, or you can communicate with us. I love feedback. My wife loves feedback. Tell us how we're doing. Tell us what you need. Tell us what you're looking for in your church, because this is your church. I shepherd this church, but it's your church. So before we start with the message, just a couple of things. First, if you're in need of prayer, or if you know someone who's in need of prayer, go to our website at modernwordministries.org and put in a prayer request. It's very simple to follow. We will get back to you within 48 hours. It's all anonymous, it's confidential, and we will get back to you. I promise you that. We will put you on the prayer list, and we will pray for you every single day, because that's what we do, because we're a praying church. Secondly, tithes and offering. You know, an important part of being a Christian is giving your tithes and offerings to the Lord. And there are a number of scriptures that tell us why that is so important. But I'm here to tell you, we have made this so easy, so simple. Just go to our website and click on the tab that says Support This Ministry. It'll take you from there. It's so easy, even I could do it. So again, thanks for coming out today. And now here's this week's message. Good morning. I'm Deacon T, and I'll be bringing you the Word of God today. Welcome to Modern Word Ministries. This week's message is called The Promotion is in the Pressure. And I think you're going to find, as we get into this, that we really talk about what goes on in our everyday life here, where we want to bail out, we want relief, which, it's too much, I've got too much going on. But what I want to talk to you about today is that in God's plan, all these little things we go through, which we look at as pressure or issues or problems, they're all about building us up and getting us ready for the life and the promotion and the blessings that He has in store for each and every one of us. Life is all about pressure. And it takes pressure, in my opinion, to bring the greatness out of people. Now, you might say, well, yeah, I hear you, but this pressure is unbearable and it's unrelenting and it never stops. Well, that's true, because we wouldn't want it to stop. We say we would, and for a minute we might. But you see, when people are under pressure, science has shown, studies have shown, that they tend to elevate their game. They tend to do better. They tend to, if you will, play up to the level of problem that they are encountering. So it is easy for us to sit here and say, I don't want any problems in my life. I want a pressure-free life. I just want to lay on the beach, and count the grains of sand. Well, given how humans are, given our human nature, we like challenges. We like, opportunities. We like the ability to achieve and to ring the bell and to succeed. And in order to succeed and ring the bell and to achieve, unless you think that every single thing in life is going to be handed to you, there's going to be pressure. And by the way, I didn't even address health, which you may not have any control over. If your DNA is bad and you have a predisposition to have cancer of some sort, you might be having cancer. So there's nothing we can do. All the money in the world, all the time, can't change that. So why does God allow this kind of pressure in my life? Because He's testing me to see if I'm going to remain loyal and faithful and hopeful to God. Very, very simple, but very powerful. God is not looking to crush us. God is not looking to harm us. God is looking for you to give Him the praise and the glory and the honor. And what do I mean by that? I mean just this. Why do we, if you will, suffer, or why are we put in these pressure situations? So that when we are brought out, the people around us, including ourselves, will all be saying, wow, only God could have done that. That must have been God. And that's what God's looking for. God is looking to get the credit for the good things that happen to us all. So when I get healed, excuse me, when I get healed from cancer, God wants to get the glory for that. And he should, because he was the one that drove that. So often, you and I get so bogged down in the pressure that we forget about the promises of God. We forget about the things that God has told us about pressure or about how he works, and we get in this woe is me mode. I am here to tell you, God did not bring you this far so you could crumble under the pressure now and just fall apart. He didn't. He didn't. I have a couple of scriptures we're going to go through quickly. This isn't a long message today. But I have some scriptures, and I want to read them and just get you and I on the same page with what various passages in the Bible might say about pressure or about feeling like you have pressure. And the first one would be from Psalms 94 and 19. And it reads, "When the cares of my heart are many, your consolations cheer my soul." In other words, when I'm worried about a lot of stuff and I've got a heavy heart because I'm carrying a lot of burden, the writer says God's consolations, in other words, how God tells us it's going to be okay, cheer him up. That's what David is saying in this psalm, is that no matter how bad it gets on the outside, no matter how much of I internalize, it gives me great relief, hope, joy to know that God, you're with me all the way, cheering me on. Philippians 4 and 6, a very well-known scripture. "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Jesus Christ." Very, very well-known scripture. But what's it saying? Don't be anxious about anything. It says it all. In other words, stop worrying. Stop letting the pressure get to you. Pray. Fall on your knees. Turn it over to God, supplication. Turn it over to God and let him be in charge of your life. And give him thanks for everything you have and everything that you have enjoyed in this life. And God's peace, which surpasses all understanding, which is more than we can even think of, is going to guard our heart and our mind. In other words, that peace that God gives us because of a relationship with him is going to keep us from going down the drain because of the pressure. But that assumes that we open ourselves up and talk to God, that we have a relationship and that we're working with him in our life. 1 Peter 5 and 6 and 7. "Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that in proper time he may exalt you, casting all your anxieties on him because he cares about you." Wow. Not far different from what Philippians said, but not nearly as well known. Humble yourselves. In other words, get down on your face and say, "God, I need you. I can't do it on my own. I acknowledge that you and you alone are God. You and you alone control my future. You and you alone control my successes. You and you alone will help me make it out of this situation that, quite frankly, I don't see a way out of right now. But instead of me trying to figure it out and getting crazy, I'm turning it over to you, Lord." That's what 1 Peter is telling us. One more for now. Let's do one more. In Colossians 3 and 23, it says, "Whatever you do, Work heartily as for the Lord and not for men. In other words, you're facing these problems. Remember this. Everything we do, we should be doing for God. We should be doing to reinforce our love, our respect, our thankfulness, our faithfulness, our belief in God and His unlimited power, for God and His unlimited love, for God and His unlimited ability and His willingness to help us and to get us through. Absolutely. Absolutely. We need to say, God, we're giving it to you, and to be sincere and earnest about that. There is no sign of weakness to say, I can't do it all. I can't handle everything in this world by myself. I need God. That's not weakness. Asking for help is a sign of strength. And particularly when you ask help from God, because God is almighty. He has all the strength in the world. See, here's a fact. Not only can't we pray away all the issues and problems we have, we really wouldn't want to. Now that sounds counterintuitive. Well, sure I would. I'd want to pray all my issues to go away. No, you wouldn't. And here's why. The issues make you stronger. The issues make you more powerful. The issues make you smarter, more able to carry on. And because of that, the issues are important in terms of your and my development, in terms of becoming everything that God has set us out to be. So it is critical that we stop praying or trying to pray away everything that comes up and instead deal with it and learn how to handle adversity and learn how to handle pressure and learn how to rely on God and to work Him into our life such that He is an integral part of all of our successes and all of our conquests of all of these issues. All of it. You see, if everything was good, all good, do you really think we would have as many Christians as we do today? If everything I wanted to happen just happened, if all the problems went away when I said go away, if all the money showed up when I said I want money, if you get my drift, do you think if I got everything I want with no hassles, I'd really be much of a Christian? I would like to say I would be, but I seriously doubt that that's true. I seriously doubt that that's true. Here's a question. How do we know when we are handling pressure appropriately? How do we know when we are handling pressure like God would have us handle it? And the answer is, when you are at peace during the pressure, when you feel calm inside your spirit, when you are relaxed and at ease, you know that you're handling the pressure correctly via your own skills and relying on God to help you. So if you're going through something and all of a sudden you realize, you know what? I'm handling this. This is okay. Yeah. Make sure you give God credit right then. Because the moment you realize that you're handling your situation, you should realize that it is not you alone and that God is with you and He's the pilot of your plane and you're the co-pilot and that He is the one that is saving you. So look over to your left seat and give Him the credit, the praise, and the glory. It's absolutely critical and essential. And essential. You remember the scripture where it said, you know, they meant it for my harm, but God made it for my good. That's really part of what we're talking about here today. We're talking about your and my ability to take earthly situations that on their face don't appear to have any positive end outcome, and turn that around and mitigate the issues, mitigate the loss, mitigate the problems, and enlarge or enhance the positives, the good feelings, the self-control, the self-fulfillment that comes out of working with God to work through these issues. So if you're with me, it's like this. God uses, and we really need to remember this, God uses your issues, your problems, your concerns. God uses the issues in our life, all the little stuff and the big stuff, to make you a bigger, better Christian. How so? It's like weightlifting. You've seen these big muscle-bound guys who are big bodybuilders and what have you. Do you think they got that way by lifting 2 pounds of weight? Do you think they got that way by lifting 5 pounds of weight 50 times? Do you think maybe they got that way by lifting 500 pounds one time? And the answer is no. If you want to build a big physique, if you want to be a bodybuilder, if you want to be a big, strong, powerful Christian who achieves the things that God has set out for him or her, it is absolutely critical that we go through these issues with God. Right? Because God is going to use these things to train us, to teach us, to show other Christians how a good Christian gets through bad times or bad situations. How a good Christian handles day-to-day situations that come up that are outside of his or her own control. You see, God will use this to show us, but also to show those around us. So people look over and go, that Deacon T is so blessed. Do you know the issues he had? And they all worked out. Hey, God was working on his side, man. There's no way he could do that on his own. That is what would be called a grand slam. When that happens, God is smiling from ear to ear, and you should be too. For sure. For sure. But as we talk about this for a minute, I want to just pose a couple things for you to think about. And I'm going to give you a couple of how to avoid getting sucked into the muck. It is interesting that some of the big heroes, big characters that are in the Bible went through incredible pressure. Incredible pressure. And if you think about just some of these people for a minute, you think about the pressure that Job went through, losing his family, his work, his health, his livelihood, his physical goods on this earth, his land, his property, everything. You think that wasn't pressure? But Job stayed true to God. And in the end, of course, he got double for his trouble. Absolutely. What do you think about maybe Paul, the apostle, who used to be a persecutor of Christians and then became the biggest author in the New Testament for sure, who was murdered and hung for his faith? He stayed right in there with God and never wavered. Once he was transformed from Saul to Paul, he became the hero of Christians. What about David? You remember him? You think he had pressure? He knew he was supposed to be king, and they had him out cleaning up the sheep. He knew he should be king, and they disrespected him left and right, his own family. When Samuel went to his father and said, I want to see your sons because one of them is going to be the next king of Israel, Jesse, the father, he didn't even have David come out and get looked at because he knew that David was not going to make it. He wasn't that sharp. He wasn't that big. He wasn't that good looking. He wasn't that strong. His own father dogged him out. His brothers dogged him and made fun of him repeatedly. Yet, God had him defeat Goliath. I'm going to lay one on you. Why didn't God have some gigantic soldier from the Israeli army kill Goliath? Why would God have a 17-year-old boy who's small in stature. Some people may have said only 5 feet tall, all tanned and dark from being outside in the sun day and night, but a small, small man. Not built or ripped or muscular, certainly not 9 feet tall. Why didn't God get somebody, a 9-foot tall soldier, somebody who already knew how to fight, somebody who knew how to break things down, somebody who knew how to make it happen? I mean, you think about how crazy this is. All he had was a slingshot. He didn't have any armor, a spear, a shield, nothing. Yet he was very successful. Why? Because he had God on his side. He invited God into the battle. That's right. Remember when David had to run and hide because Saul was trying to kill him? What for? He'd never done anything to Saul. He was nice to Saul, played music for him so he could sleep, took care of him, killed Goliath, and he ends up on the run. Why? Because Saul was jealous. How sickening is that? So I'm sure in your life, you've had people who have done you dirty just because they were jealous. They thought you were too cute. They thought you had too much money. They thought you were too smart. They thought you had the boyfriend they wanted. They thought you had the house they wanted, the car they wanted. And they're haters. They're just haters. And that puts pressure on you to be around haters. Look at how David handled it. Look at how Job handled it. And think about handling things the same way yourself. And they both handled it the same way, and that is, God, I'm turning it over to you. Give me what I need. And off they went. Absolutely. How about Moses? Since we're going to talk about something, I'm going to throw him in. He wasn't even on the list. You think he had pressure? He had a stutter. And God tells him you're going to be the king of 2 million people. But he had a stutter. He couldn't even speak well. God said, I want you to go talk to Pharaoh. And imagine this. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just trying to depict this. Can you imagine? He says, go talk to the Pharaoh and tell the Pharaoh to let all the Israelites go. And Moses would be talking about, but I can't talk. He wasn't going to go see the Pharaoh. What did God say? Don't worry about it, Moses. You go see the Pharaoh, I'll do the talking. I'm paraphrasing. That's what he said. That's what he said. Moses was feeling the pressure. He was a stuttering murderer. So if you think you got problems, a stuttering murderer became the leader of 2 million people. He became the Benjamin Netanyahu of that time, if you will. The first one. Absolutely. Here's something else I want you to think about. I want you to look back over your life and think about things that you have accomplished when you were under pressure that you thought, or that no one thought, you could ever do. No one. In the same way no one thought that David could ever beat Goliath. What about those things in your life that others and you didn't think you could ever accomplish? But you did. But you did. How did that happen? How did that take place? Well, the answer is simple. Because of the intervention of the Almighty God. Because if it was left up to you and me and David, we wouldn't have beat Goliath. And we all have Goliaths in our life. So I want you to think about this. You have never been alone. Since the moment you were born, God, Jesus, his Son, and his Holy Spirit have always been here, running interference, interceding, and looking out for you in your life, in your times of plenty and in your times of trouble. So it's really about a mindset on our part.
It's about a mindset to say, I understand what the world is serving up, but what this world and its people don't understand is what my God can do. See, when you look at it, what can Deacon T do? What could Maria do? What could Rebecca do? The answer is not a heck of a lot. That doesn't sound good. The whole world seems to be against Deacon T. He'll never be able to fight them off. But if we change that scenario and say, yeah, well, if the whole world's against Deacon T and he's got Jesus on his side and got the Holy Ghost in his camp, what's going to happen? And the answer, as we all know as good Christians, is nothing is too big, nothing is too hard for our God, and he's going to take care of us. He has said so, he has done so, he continues to do so. I will beg to say, God took care of you today. You say, how so? You woke up, didn't you? You're hearing this message, aren't you? So you can hear, you can probably see me, and you can understand what I'm saying. All of that on your own, under your own power. That's a pretty good start to a pretty good day. If God can do that for 7-8 billion people every day on this earth, I think he could take care of you and your problems with your mother-in-law, or you and your problems with other people, or the bad people at work, or your boss who's a hater, or your friend who's a racist or a sexist, and so forth and so on. We have got to realize that in Psalm 34 and 17 and 18, it says, when the righteous cry for help, the Lord hears and delivers them out of all their troubles. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Okay, that is you and me when we're in trouble. When the righteous cry for help, the Lord hears and delivers them. You notice he doesn't say the Lord might hear them, might help them. Some of them get heard, some of them get helped. It doesn't say that. I'm reading what your Bible says. When the righteous cry for help, the Lord heals and delivers them of all their troubles. That would be a complete slate wiper. Okay, that would be clean. Clean. We're going to start the music. And as we do, before we close, just a couple more things. And the Lord in 18 says, and the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. How many of you know that if you look back, I can tell you I can, there was a time or 2 or 4 or 5 or whatever when you really didn't think you had the strength to go on. I don't want anybody to raise their hand. I don't want anybody to say, I agree. I don't want anybody to nod, nothing. I just know, and I'm not saying it was serious or not, but that most everybody I talk to anymore, at one time or another in their life, has thought about killing themselves. They may not have been serious about it, but most people I have encountered have said to me, there was a time when I didn't think I could go on, when the stakes were stacked and the bets were so high against me, I just didn't think I could continue. And somehow I woke up the next day and kept going, and here I am, and I survived. Why? Because the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. So says Psalm 34, not Deacon T. Psalm 34. Having said this, I think we all understand what I'm trying to say. That is, you can't handle these things on your own, and you were never meant to. God, Jesus, and the Holy Ghost are here to help you. It says in the Bible, they're here to help you and to help you navigate and to get you out of this foolishness. If you believe in them and believe that they can and believe that they will. Having said that, what are some things we can do other than calling on God to help us to help us on a daily basis, to help us to make it through, to not take the pressure and let it cripple us, but take the pressure and let it grow our muscles bigger. First, I would suggest that we, as Christians, always take the high road. People come in and they call you names. They call you out of your name. They talk about you because of your race, your sex, your religion, whatever it is. And they gang up on you, and there's a bunch of them. Nobody at work will eat with you because you're not like them. There's an option where you could jump in their face, maybe punch somebody in the mouth, maybe do something. That would be Deacon T style. Not a good answer. Instead, take the high road. Don't get into the muck and the mire with them. We don't have to. We are Christians. Jesus saved us. We are above that. We have God who keeps us up, and we have the Holy Spirit that helps work through these things so that these little knuckle-headed people running around this earth trying to make you and me crazy don't succeed. Take the high road. Number 2, stretch. We can all do so much more than we think we can do, and my boy David is the proof positive of that. He proved he could kill Goliath with a slingshot, a crummy little cloth slingshot and a flat stone. Wow. Now that's faith. I don't know if I could do that. I'm looking at a 9-foot-tall guy who's coming to kill me. I'm not sure. But look at David. Look at how he stretched. He stretched his belief in himself and stretched his belief in who he believes in, and that is God and His Almighty Spirit. Next, ignore the voices in your head. Ooh, that's a tough one. You know those voices? Why is it we have so many voices in our head that say, nah, T, nah, D, not T, no T. Deacon, no, buddy. No, Deacon, slow down. Deacon, you can't get out of this. You can't fight them back. You don't know what to do. Deacon. Those voices of negativity, those voices that say, let it happen, those voices that say, oh, well, I guess I am just a no good, short, little, bald son of a gun, because that's what they said to me. No. Ignore the voices in your head and instead listen to the voice of God Almighty. Listen to His voice, meaning read His scriptures and hear that voice in your head. If it's more helpful, get an audio Bible and listen to these scriptures and let them soak in and hear what God says about you. What does God say? I've already read these things. God says this, not Deacon T. God has told us what to do, not to worry, to rely on Him, to fall in line behind God. Let Him fight the battles. Let Him duke it out. You do what He wants you to do, which is have a close relationship with Him. Give Him the praise and glory and the thanks and all the honor. Amen? Amen. Keep going here. A couple other things we can do to help us get through. Be determined. I'm just going to share this with you, and you can disagree if you like, or you can agree. Life is tricky. Life is difficult. Life is going to be tricky and difficult. Life is far more complicated because of information technology and so forth than it ever was before, and it's never going to be just a walk in the park every day for the rest of your life. It's not. And if you are waiting for the delivery of 365, 24/7, just happiness and joy and la-ti-da, you're in a fake reality. You're not living in the real world. No one has ever had a life like that, and you won't be the first. So you have to be willing to fight. Get dirty. Get down and be honest with your God. Tell God what's on your mind, what's going on, what worries you, and ask Him for insight as to what to do. And you know what? I'll give you this much. If God says, forget it, go punch that guy in the mouth, okay, you've been sent by God. Short of that, don't engage. Be determined to be the best you can be. That's not the best, it's the best you can be. And to listen and do what God has called out for you to be so that you can meet the destiny that God has called out for you. That's your assignment, not to be the best of anything. Be the best you. Be the best you can be. Next, and this kind of goes without saying, but ignore the negative voices around you. If you find yourself around people who are negative all the time, I'm not talking about talking to you negative. I'm talking about just negative. Yeah, life is terrible. This is horrible. Horrible world. Horrible economy. Horrible this. Boogers, 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 boogers. Don't be around people like that. Negative people sow negativity into your soil. And you have good, rich soil because that's how God made you. And negative, ninny people will sow into your good, fertilized soil. And before you know it, you're going to sound like them. Then you're going to turn around and say, why is my life so negative? Because you're giving life to the negativity by talking about it all the time and talking about how there's nothing you can do about it. That is the best it's ever going to be for me. I'll never get a decent job. I don't have a good education. I'm not that smart a guy. Stop listening to those people and internalizing their negativity and putting it on your life. You are choking yourself out. Now think about how crazy this is. You are choking your life right out of you. Why not just hang yourself? You're choking your spiritual life and your fun right out of your physical life. Don't do that. Don't do that. Lastly, is we need to handle things when they come up. My experience in life, this is not biblical, this is just my experience in life, is that nothing gets better when we try to bury it. And you know what? We think it's weakness if we talk about maybe something that happened to us in our youth or something that went on in our teens, but the truth is it's not. It's only weakness if you use it as a crutch for non-performance. If you talk about these things that happened in your past as a way to understand them and to move through them and to move on, then it's a very positive experience. Very positive experience. But what we can't do is hang out around negative people and then think that positive things are going to happen in our life. That's just not real. And to think that it is foolish. It's just foolish. So in closing, I want to say this. The title today was Promotion is in the Pressure. And I want to close by saying this. God has so many great things lined up for you and for me that they are beyond description. They are beyond description in terms of the number of great things and beyond description in terms of the greatness, the size, the grandeur. It is our responsibility, yours and mine, to be living in concert, to be living a Christian saved life, and to have God as the center of our life, and to recognize that Jesus came here to save me, that Jesus came here so I could have, life and life more abundantly. Isn't that what the Bible said? Well, that's abundantly in every way. Emotional, physical, spiritual, mental, financial. But you have to let go and let God. God has so much called out for us, promotion-wise. But we're going to have to fight some battles. God wants to see if you're ready. Are you ready to handle a promotion? Because when you get a bigger promotion, you're going to have bigger challenges. So he wants to see, how do you do with the little funky apartment you have today if I'm going to give you a 3,500 square foot beautiful home? Because you're going to have bigger electrical bills, bigger gas bill, bigger tax bill, more to clean, more yard to trim. So isn't that a bigger burden? If you can't handle the little burden, how are you going to handle the big burden? It's about demonstrating to God that you can handle the things you can handle, and what you can't handle, you turn straight over to him. And that he is then in charge. And if he wants you to do something, he'll let you know. So that's the message. Open your heart. Open your minds. Receive God as he is. See, he's perfect. Receive him as he is. Don't try to get him to, you don't have to get him to fit into your, thing, to shoehorn into your situation. He totally understands your situation. He totally understands you. Remember, he made you. He knows the number of hairs on your head. He knew you before you were conceived. I mean, this is the God who created you. He knows everything about you. He knows what you're going to face tomorrow, even though you don't. He knows what you're going to need to face it, even though you don't. He's going to give it to you. He's going to provide for you. He's going to make sure that you handle all these situations in such a way that at the end, you get the promotion because you have successfully made it out of the pressure. Amen? Amen. As we pray today, I'd like you to think about this. What am I doing to make my life simpler, more godlike, more pure, versus what am I doing, what am I involved with that I ought to just let go of, that I ought to just cut loose and let God deal with it. Lord, we thank you for setting this picture up for us, for getting information out to us so we understand better how to handle this everyday pressure that comes up, how to understand that out of that pressure, we're going to be rewarded, we're going to be promoted, good things are going to happen, but we have to make it through the pressure. Lord, give us the wisdom and the courage and the understanding to realize that you're the answer to everything and we don't have to have the answer. All we need to do is get on our knees and go to you and say, Lord Jesus, would you please help me through this? Lord Jesus, show me how to make it through. I'm lost, I'm confused, I'm weak, and I turn it over to you, Lord, in the mighty name of your Son, Jesus. Amen. I am so pleased to be here today and to have had this message. Not the fire and brimstone message, but I think an important message nonetheless. We all go through so much in our lives anymore. It is more critical than ever that if we want to be truly successful in the biggest sense of the word and live a truly wonderful life, we must have Jesus Christ as the center of our life. We must. I'm here every Sunday at 10 a.m. modernwordministries.org. Tune in, join us. I promise you this, I'm going to bring the best word I can. I'm going to bring the word that God tells me to bring. We are here to help you, to educate you, to inform you, to show you how to live in this crazy world beyond the doors to the church. And I'm going to continue to do this until I can't do it anymore. Remember, God's going to see you through, and I'm going to pray for you. This is Modern Word Ministries, where you can come as you are, but you will never leave the same. So until next week, 10 a.m. on Sunday, I say goodbye. I love y'all. Have a wonderful week. Be safe. And just remember, God's got it handled. Just trust him. Amen? Goodbye, everybody.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my second episode of my show, Mental Melodies. My name is Carmen Bradley. I'm going to do a little recap of what I talked about last week and who I am for those of you that are just tuning in. Again, my name is Carmen Bradley. I'm a singer, songwriter, actress, model, comedian one day, and talk show host. I am doing this show as a way of bringing awareness to mental health. I have a feeling that the show's going to develop into something beyond me, like, you know, when something's supposed to happen and you feel like you're in the driver's seat, but really something beyond you is driving. That's kind of what it feels like right now. So I do have a vision for it, but I'm also accepting that I'm in a new space and that I'm creating something as I go. So I guess with that, something I wanted to do in the first segment was be a little bit vulnerable with y'all, because this is a show about mental health, and I want to preface this by saying, like, I am an expert. I have a master's degree in professional counseling. I have a master's in education. I have all these like resume things I can throw at you. I do believe that I know what I'm talking about, but I also know that I am a human and I have my own mental health struggles. And so something I was talking about last week is just this like duality. I don't want to present myself as an expert on mental health that's going to give you all of the tips and you just have to go out and use the tips and you're going to be fine, because that's not the way it works. Actually, I'm a person who does have a lot of knowledge and experience, but who still struggles with mental health. Give you a little bit of a story from yesterday. I was totally, completely overwhelmed. My emotions, like, I could not regulate them. I couldn't find my way in a parking lot, and I was like crying behind my sunglasses, and people had to come save me. And then 3 activities later, I'm sitting in the parking lot about to film actually the music video for a song I wrote for this show, and I was so overwhelmed that I had to go home. And it was interesting because I was in this space where I wasn't certain. I wasn't certain if I was self-sabotaging or if I was like taking a mental health night. I didn't take the day. But sometimes when your mental health is upticking, like you're having an episode, you could call it, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell like what the right choice is or what the voices in your head are saying. And I've been on this journey of trying to discover the voices in my head and like, you know, which is that quiet voice that's telling me the right step and which of my voices are paranoid. And sometimes I just can't tell. And there was this podcast I listened to, I can't remember the name of it, so I apologize for not referencing it correctly, but there's these 2 brothers, something like the science podcast. Anyway, I'll find it and I will let you know. But they were talking about this, how to discover your anxious voice versus your intuitive voice. And that's a question that a lot of people have, and a question that I have been working through for some time. And basically the gist of their 1-hour episode was that the only way to know is to make a decision, and then usually you know afterward. So I came home and I was like, man, I could have finished this music video and I could have felt more productive and all of these things. But what really happened is I sat down and I had a heartfelt conversation with my roommate, and I felt lighter and some of that overwhelm kind of went away. And so I felt like it was the right decision for me. And while there are times where I have, you know, self-sabotage or leaned into doubt or whatever, every situation like that is an opportunity to learn, you know. So I learned about a little bit about my limits, and I did learn about how I do have a lot of doubt coming into this thing, but I've also learned that I'm leaning into it and that I'm past that a little bit more than I used to be. Like, I think I said last week that if you had come up to me when I was really sick, like 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do this, because I would have been so stuck in my emotional body and in my anxiety and the things that were kind of like driving me then, that I would have been just venting about that instead of talking about my journey through those things. Whereas now, like, fast forward 10 years later, after I was diagnosed with lupus, and after I was diagnosed with anorexia, and after I was diagnosed with, gosh, I could give you like the whole list of all these things that I've experienced, right? I've been able to see all these patterns and the ways that I deal with things, and then find my limitations and like move past them. So now I have actually like a story to tell. And the interesting thing I was telling my roommate yesterday about was that I always thought that the way my story would get out there would be in a book. So I've been writing for upwards of 13 years. I write every single day. But recently I gave away a lot of books and I burned a lot of papers and I burned a lot of journals and I let go of a lot of the energy attached to things that I had been writing and saying and thinking about for so many years. And as I've been shedding those things, as I was telling my director, Maria, like things have just been coming to me, like opportunities that are right for me right now. So like this show is an opportunity for me to say a lot of the stuff that I wrote down, but say it with an audience. Sometimes when you're writing, you're just writing into the void and it makes you feel more lonely, and I think one day I will probably take all of this and compile it into a book that I can then publish. But first I need to speak it. Like first I need to heal my voice and say the words that have been, on my chest for a while or whatever. So yeah, that's a bit more about me and my journey. I do think that I guess the point of this was that my journey and my vulnerability is going to be just as important as the stuff that I've learned and I've known and I've studied. Like I've helped people start to heal from things like depression and post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety, but healing is not linear. It's not like I said, it's not that you do these things and then you're done and now you're healed. Because if that were the case, then I wouldn't have had a mental breakdown in a parking lot yesterday. I would be like, I don't even know what fine means. Like I would be stable, I guess. Anyway, I am like a normal person dealing with mental health issues. I'm going to take that one step back because I don't want to label myself as normal. And also I don't want to downgrade some of the struggles that I have had, because I think sometimes maybe I underestimate, or maybe I don't quite understand how many people either don't go through what I've been through or don't understand what I've been through that maybe could benefit from understanding. And sometimes I need to cut myself a little bit of slack, right? If I'm going through these things and I'm healing from these things while I'm growing and while I'm doing a million different things and, doing background on movies and writing songs and learning the guitar and teaching the guitar and all the things that I do, and I'm still struggling with all of this stuff. I need to be honest about those limitations and find those places and areas in my growth to continue to heal and to continue to rest. And so I need to give space to myself for that. And I think that for those who are struggling, who maybe have never sought any type of healing, that's a message that I guess is really, really strong for me this week, is just to make sure that you are honest with yourself about your limitations, but as a way to move past them. That's something that has come to me a lot recently, or throughout this week, I guess, is just that your limitations are not the end. And I think that's where, especially with mental illness, when you get diagnosed in your 20s, it feels like that's the end. This is the ceiling. I am anxious, and so therefore work will always be hard for me. Or I am depressed, and so therefore XYZ, and whatever that means for you. But I think that getting diagnosed is actually an opportunity. It's like a mirror to yourself and to the patterns that you have. And if you decide to look at that as an opportunity, then you can move forward from it. And like I said, accept your limitations, but only as a way to move past them, not to just lean into them. And I think that can be a little controversial, and there's thoughts that I have, about that, because obviously there's the disability world out there. Things that people need, accommodations that people have, and that is very important. But I think oftentimes, this is my show, so I'm going to rock the boat. I think oftentimes people have these limitations that they just sink into. It's like sinking sand. I am depressed, that's who I am. But that's not true. You have depression. Or I would even argue to say that, oh man, so many things I'm saying right now that I'm just so many people will probably not agree with me. I just don't think that mental illness has to be permanent. I don't think that you have to have depression forever, right? My whole message last week was that healing is real. So then there's the flip side of the coin. Well then, Carmen, why do you still struggle with depression? And those are things that I think I'm still I'm still figuring out. I'm still asking myself why I still go through these periods. And part of it, I think, is just that life doesn't stop. You know, like those of you, friends maybe who are watching or family, you know, I just went through a divorce. So naturally, my body's going to respond to those things, and I'm going to experience intense emotions. And I just moved out 3 weeks ago. So things are crazy. Like, you know, going back to what I said, cut yourself some slack. But there are some stuff I do go through, like paranoid thoughts and things that, like I said, maybe the mainstream world doesn't understand or will never admit, that I do wonder about that. Like, there's not all the research is conclusive about where that comes from. Like, is it genetic? Is it trauma? Am I just like the special black sheep that was born with those tendencies, those kinds of things? But sometimes what happens in your healing journey that I think I'll explain over time is just that you do naturally go through ebbs and flows. So while during the period when I was teaching and I was teaching yoga and I was doing breath work every day, I felt a little more stable. Right now, life has kind of rocked the boat. So I'm doing great things and I've healed a lot, but there are episodes that come up. And like I said, every single time that you are told that you're sick or whatever, it is an opportunity. So if you have a little uptick in illness, then you can start to figure out like why that happened, what's triggering you, blah, blah, blah. There's so much to say. We're going to go on a little bit of a break, and I'm going to come back, sing a song, and talk some more.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Shopping for a new home is an exciting time, and the mortgage process just got easier. New American Funding's all-digital mortgage application takes all the hassle out of applying for a mortgage. Simply put in your information and we do the rest. Safely and securely verify your income, assets, and tax information electronically. Plus, you get access to track the progress of your application anytime, anywhere. Less questions, less paperwork, less hassle, and instant access. Ready to start shopping for your new home? Let's get started.
Now on digital and DVD.
Did it?
Space Wars: Quest for the Deep Star is an epic sci-fi adventure.
Do what needs to be done.
An edge-of-your-seat wild ride.
We have company.
Tons of popcorn-munching fun. 5 stars. A love letter to the sci-fi films of the 70s and 80s. With plenty of action and fun for all. You need to see it. You really do.
The captain just decided it's time to go.
I am ready for a sequel. Experience a bold new adventure. Space Wars: Quest for the Deep Star.
A good old-fashioned adventure.
Now on digital and DVD.
Hi everybody, we're back. This is Mental Melodies with Carmen Bradley. Part of the gist of this show, which will come to fruition over time, is combining like music with talk, because music has been very healing, but also I just love an opportunity to play, so here I am. This song is from Miley Cyrus. It's called Used to Be Young, so if you haven't heard it, that's cool. You can hear it from me for the first time. Then yeah, I'll talk about the message afterwards. So anyway, here goes. truth is bulletproof, there's no fooling you. I don't dress the same. You and who you say I was yesterday have gone our separate ways. Turns out living fast, something for the past, 'cause that's for chasing cars. Turns out crowded rooms lead to broken hearts and going way too far. I know I used to be crazy. I know I used to be wild. You say I used to be wild. That's 'cause I used to be young. You tell me time has done changed me. That's fine, I've had a good run. I know I used to be crazy. That's 'cause I used to be young. Take one, pour it out. It's not worth crying about the things you can't erase. Like tattoos and regrets, words I never meant, and ones that got away. Took my living fast, left it in the past, 'cause took another road. Turns out crowded rooms lead to open hearts and better. I'm losing my words today, guys. I know I used to be crazy. I know I used to be fun. You say I used to be wild. That's 'cause I used to be young. You tell me time has done changed me. That's fine, I've had a good run. I know I used to be crazy. That's 'cause I used to be young. Oh, 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 yeah, oh, 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 I know I used to be crazy, messed up, but God, was it fun? I know I used to be wild. That's 'cause I used to be young. You tell me time has done changed me. That's fine, I've had a good run. I know I used to be crazy. That's 'cause I used to be young. Thank you. Oh man, I was losing my words there for a minute, but that's all right. That's the beauty of like creating something and just doing something new. Oh, thank you so much. It's just taking it one step at a time. The first time that I performed on Priscilla Moy's hot seat, I dropped my pick and it fell into that little circle, and I just kept playing, and I've been learning like how to do that. In this whole journey, I think I've just been learning how to like trip a little bit and then move forward, you know, take those moments of rest and move forward, give myself permission to start over all the time. That's a lesson that I can't remember exactly when I started learning it, but when you first start to try to make changes, it's very hard. Changing habits is very hard. This is nothing new, and something that I wanted to preface also is that like a lot of the stuff that I'm going to share sounds so profound to me, and maybe it's falling on new ears, but for a lot of you, maybe you've already heard it before. But it's so important to just keep getting that message out there. Like, just because there's a million people on social media or TikTok talking about mental health doesn't mean that everyone is seeing it. And the interesting thing in my life now is that like I'm watching kind of like my two worlds meld together. I was a big part of the healing world for a while, and now I'm a big part of the performer industry. And I have a lot of friends who are performers who don't really talk about their mental health or their health in general. And so maybe that's why I went through the healing world and went to the performer world, so that now I can reach an audience of people that need to hear about health. But anyway, I the song, I think maybe part of the reason I was messing up a little bit today is just because this song has been hitting me hard. And it's obviously about Miley Cyrus's journey, and I can empathize with her and the message of the song. I cannot empathize with being in front of millions of people and them like watching your young 20s, and like teenage years and all of that. Like everybody in America knows what she's talking about. But for me, I did have a very tumultuous 20s. I was really, really depressed when I was teaching high school. I did not really have a life outside of work at all. I had friends, but I didn't have a social life, I guess is the way that you could put it. But by the end of it, I felt like I didn't really have any friends at all, because I went from having a lot of people and doing a lot of things in college to just slowly getting into that American hamster wheel where my whole life was just work, and I was teaching high school and then coaching cheer and doing all these things, and then I would come home and I had no energy for anybody else. So that's part of it. If you're on the hamster wheel, it's hard to get out of that, and that can affect your mental health tremendously. So obviously, like, I can sit here and be like, well, now I have a lot of my dream jobs and my schedule is not the way that it was when I was teaching. So maybe, I'm blessed in that way. I think it was very, very hard to try and be healthy when I was teaching. That's just the gist of it. Faustino, if you know him, he plays piano. He does a piano karaoke improv. It's like once a month at the Square Bar. I'm trying to like promote all of the people and performers I know when they come to my head. But he's a teacher and he posts about it. And it's funny because I think sometimes people come into your life to remind you of times that you need to reflect on. And so this is a moment in my life, not a long moment, a 10-year moment, where I was really struggling. And in your 20s, part of it is just that you're just not aware. My director and I were talking about when you're a kid, like your subconscious mind is in control, you're all impulse. Well, that doesn't really like end until you make a choice for it to end. Like you can sit back and let we'll call it programming because that's what it is. Let that take over for your whole life. And you can just have the beliefs that you've always had and that you were told you were supposed to have, and that can run your life. And it's really, really challenging to change those things about yourself. And that's why I think, going back to what I was saying about opportunity, like illness was an opportunity for me. And I truly think that it is an opportunity. If you're, there's obviously exceptions to everything, but for me and for mental illness in general, I think it's an opportunity for you to break those beliefs and decide who you want to be, because you have to. And in the beginning, it totally sucks. Like, it was not fun to be a 21-year-old with lupus, like wondering if my lifespan was way shorter. And that can still not be fun now, when I have to sleep for 48 hours because I just started a new job and then can't hang out with anybody on the weekend. Like, there's stuff I have to do for my body, right? Accept your limitations. But what lupus did for me, which is a chronic illness if you don't know, but it was in conjunction with my mental health because they're all tied together anyway. But that brought me to yoga, and it brought me to learning about nutrition and stuff that I didn't really know, because the only thing I thought about growing up was either like I'm eating so that I have energy for my sports, or I'm eating to lose weight so that I can look like my older sister or some famous person, And so all of that was tied in with eating disorder stuff. I mentioned earlier that I was diagnosed with anorexia. I also had bulimia at one point. But those things, like I said, they're not permanent. If I were to go to a therapist today, I would not fit the criteria for anorexia or bulimia. That doesn't mean that it's totally gone. Like I mentioned before, I go through upticks with that as well, where I'll have these thoughts that come up. I start to see myself in the mirror differently. Body dysmorphia is very real. You can literally see something, right, that's different in the mirror. So these things pop up and I start to notice, and then either I deal with them in ways that I have in the past, or I take an opportunity to reflect on maybe something new that I need to learn to overcome it this time. I had mentioned that it's an opportunity for you to see like triggers. So being in a relationship is often a trigger for me with my body, because all of a sudden I'm worried about what somebody else is thinking of my body instead of just me. So that's one thing. And again, then you learn to accept those limitations and be like, these are thoughts that I'm having, and start to practice not giving power to those thoughts. Or like I said, you can lean back and you can be like, I'm hit again, and just, I don't know, let those thoughts drive you. And they really can. It's interesting how they test you. My belief system, I don't know, fits within, I guess, a different paradigm. And so I'm not sure who's listening right now, but I'm thinking about what JC, if you watch some of the other shows on social media shows, he talks a lot about God and the devil and being tested and that kind of thing. As somebody who grew up Christian, I can fit my own beliefs into that framework, right? So even these moments where I have upticks of mental health, you can label those as a devil or a demon or a temptation if you want to. It's everything kind of falls in the same category if you think about it. The way that religion is just people trying to make sense of all of the same things. So anyway, for me, when I have upticks in mental health, it's like a temptation to be are you going to be who you used to be, or are you going to use this as an opportunity to grow? Are you going to use this as an opportunity to help people? I thought maybe the reason I'm having a week-long panic attack these last couple weeks is simply because I need to help other people get through that. And I do think, in a way, I guess I'm saying that now, I believe that that's true, because I think it was important for me to sit here and reflect on being humble throughout this process. And I do believe that I'm here for a reason, and that there are things that I need to say that people need to hear. But without vulnerability and without being honest about my struggles, it's going to be dishonest, and it will fall flat, and it won't help, because if you're thinking, oh, she's completely healed and she's completely fine, but I'm not, and I'm doing everything she says I need to do, then obviously what she says doesn't work. So I think I will definitely talk in the next segment just about that, and about how you can keep hope alive despite the fact that you keep getting hit. I think in the thick of mental illness, it feels very much when you're at the beach, there's waves behind you, and you cannot get to shore, and they just keep knocking you down, and you're stuck in that that washing machine feeling. I don't know. I assume everybody's been in the waves. I was an ocean kid growing up. So anyway, that's a metaphor for that. So how do you get out of that? We'll talk about that.
This show is brought to you by Michelle Kubiak. If you want to buy or sell a home, call Michelle, 702-683-6576.
John is an employee at one of the most famous firms in the city of New York, so his job is very hectic, and he realized that it is necessary for him to go and finally take a vacation. But he went on a vacation without planning out the details, and wasn't able to truly enjoy where he went because he had to think about so many things that he didn't plan for. Instead of enjoying his time away from work, he came back with more stress that he was not able to take full advantage of his vacation. But this year, a coworker suggested him to try World Ventures this time to make his vacationing more enjoyable and less stressful. They do not require you to plan anything outside of your transportation, which is also available at discounted rates. Your stay, your transport, and many meals are planned by the club. John liked the idea very much. He tries World Ventures, and his experience with the club was amazing, as he made many friends there with whom he had a great time. John recommends that everyone should try this club, as they are the best in business. See how the VIP-vacation-club.com can give you the right experience without all the hassle. Enjoy the VIP experience that only World Ventures provides.
Got Films is a full-service production company that provides motion picture quality content and production services for use in the film and TV industry. Looking for a seasoned crew, high-quality equipment, or other production services for your film, TV, commercial, corporate convention, sports, news, or interview project? Your search stops here. Some of our projects include NASCAR, American Restoration, Pawn Stars, Counting Cars, Top Chef, BattleBots, Forge and Fire, and Street Outlaws. We have also produced over 60 feature films and documentaries. We're ready for all your needs. Whatever your project, whatever your budget, big or small, Got Films got you. GotFilms.com.
Hi everyone, we're back. Mental Melodies. This is our third little segment here. My name's Carmen Bradley, so if you're just tuning in, welcome. Thank you for being here. For those of you who are still listening, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Something I mentioned like in passing in the last segment was just like my voice. And as a singer, like and a speaker and a counselor and a yogi and all of these things, I've been healing my voice, and that's something that like you can even tell it's a little tired right now because I've been emotional this last week. But even from this week or from last week to this week, if you were listening last week, like things are just flowing more because I think, like I said, I'm here for a reason to say stuff that like needs to be said and to share stories that have needed to be shared. And this is like the time for them. And the thing about healing a voice that I don't think I understood until this moment is that you need people to hear you in order to heal your voice. And this is making me emotional because I think that was part of the issue when you're in those moments where you're in those waves that I talked about and you are just like crashing and you're getting hit from one thing after the other. Like life hits you, somebody dies, you lose a job, you have depression, etc. All these things, and you're just like, I can't get out. The thing about then having mental illness issues that you don't feel like you can talk about is that it starts to shut down your ability to speak about your experiences. So there were times in my life where I couldn't seek help. I never finished a therapy appointment or didn't go back to the second one, or I didn't feel like I could be honest about like how I dealt with my brother's death, for example, which is something I've talked about on this show. And so I was just going through my life, working and showing up to work on time when I could and doing the best that I could and giving from wells that were empty to my students and to everybody around me. And I was just like pulling energy from nowhere and I was completely depleted. And then like I was just losing my ability to sing and to speak and to share. I became very introverted, and it's funny, I went to a comedy show last week, Taylor Tomlinson. She's on Netflix, and she's super cool. I went to her show, and it was the weirdest thing. So it was like everything that she said was a thought that I had, and sometimes you just have spirits like that you connect with. She had like religious trauma growing up, and so she's, coping with it through this completely superfluous and awesome career. She's totally cool. I lost what I was saying. I went there and she was talking about something that had to do with the voice. But I can backtrack a little. I think it will come back to me. But as it comes to the voice thing and just like me healing from it, it's a really beautiful thing. And like I said, having an audience is really, really important for that, because if you're not heard, it just doesn't matter. Like you can't keep talking to a wall. And I guess that goes back to what I was saying about when I was writing. Like I would write and write and write and write and write, but nobody was reading it and I wasn't sharing it. And so it was valuable to its own, whatever it did for me, but it wasn't valuable in the sense that it was helping me share my story because I wasn't sharing it with anybody. And so being able to share my story in a way is healing for me and then also like healing for others. And I can't remember the thing about Taylor Tomlinson, which is so sad. But she's really cool. I've been thinking a lot this week about just like being a woman, and I think this is more of a honeybees thing, so maybe I'm going off track a little bit, but just where I'm at in my life and being completely independent and doing things like carrying water jugs upstairs that I would ordinarily like ask a boy to do has been really, really interesting. And then to be in this position where I don't know how many people are going to listen, but I feel like over time a lot of people will listen, and that's something that's like empowering and beautiful, but also humbling, because I have to sit here in this chair and I felt like I had to convince you of why you should listen to me. I don't feel that way anymore. I don't feel like I have to sit up here and be like, well, I went to school for 7 years to get this degree about mental health, so you must listen because I am ethos, when it comes to that. Now I just feel like I'm here and I'm saying what needs to be said, and I think that those who want to listen will. Last week I was reviewing the episode and I actually listened to it, which was weird because like the past talk shows I've done, I wouldn't listen to myself. But I found myself intrigued by the words and like by the cadence of my own voice. And so yeah, I just think it's really cool that this is an opportunity for other people to hear that as well and to listen to what I have to say. Let me see. I was going to talk about intentions because I think at the end of my last segment, I kind of gave you that metaphor about being in the waves and being knocked down. And then I followed that up with, well, I'll tell you how to get out of it. And once again, like it's not step by step. And if I give you my journey, it's not like it's just going to be, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that, and then everything was good. It's been like definitely a long time in the making, like at least 5 years of where I could trace back and be like, this was the moment that I really decided like I was going to try and be in control of my own life and have autonomy. But intentions are kind of where it started for me. And I guess before that, how it really started was with yoga, because I was diagnosed with lupus. And then, like I mentioned earlier, I found yoga and it completely changed my relationship with my body, my relationship with food. Most importantly, my relationship with my body image. It helped me heal again from like eating disorders. And so in yoga, they talk about intentions a lot. If you've ever gone to a yoga class, a yoga teacher will like invite you to set an intention at the beginning of class. And so they'll say stuff like, it could be a word or a phrase, or you could send energy out to somebody who needs it, blah, blah, blah. So I took that concept and then applied it to my own life. And again, like a lot of these things that I'm saying have been so profound for me. But they are not new. Like I said, it came from yoga classes I was taking. You can go on, mental health social media platforms and you'll see stuff about intentions. But like I said, I'm here for a reason, saying these things to audiences who maybe haven't heard it or maybe need a reminder, because I know I've needed a reminder too. As in a way, I feel like I'm kind of starting over, but not. And all that will become clear over time. But anyway, intentions for me are just one word or one phrase that you start your day with. And it's basically to help you shift your mindset. This is something that I was struggling with the last few weeks, I guess kind of coming out of the depths of the divorce drama and all that stuff I was going through. It was like at some point I had to wake up and make a choice about like, am I going to be a positive person, or am I going to like lean into this energy that's kind of been like latched onto me for a couple months. And it's been tough to shift into an area of gratitude, even though there's so many things to be grateful for. I have so many beautiful, lovely things going on in my life and so many beautiful, lovely people around me to help me and to listen to me. And yet, like, I was still waking up grumpy or, like feeling super emotional and just lacking that gratitude. And like, honestly, I think that fits along with that vein where I said, like, I need to be vulnerable. I think this show and the opportunity to be on here is really what gave me that push. It pushed me out of those waves and was like, climb up onto shore and like find some gratitude and like look up at the sunlight being like everything in my life that's good. Because I couldn't sit here and tell you this and then go home and then be bitter, and that's one of the hardest things I've had to learn, is that is a choice. And that kind of comes along with like the controversy, that's a weird word, controversy, that I mentioned earlier, where like, if I'm telling you that like depression is not permanent, that's not gonna sit well with everybody, because it's easy, quote unquote easy. It's not in its own way, but it's easy in some ways to just be like, I am depressed. You know, I went through this and that, and therefore, like, life happened to me, and I have a right to be whatever. I have a right to be angry. I have a right to be sad. I have a right to blah, blah, blah. And while that's true, you have a right to feel these emotions, they do not have to become your main state of being. And that is hard. That's hard to own up to. It is really, really hard to take a step outside of yourself and look at yourself and be like, bro, you know, like, you have however many days left to live. You could have 1 day left to live. If you're going to choose to keep being that way, even if you know now that you have a choice to be a different way, then at the end of the day, it was a choice. But if you backtrack, right, to like when you first found out you were sick or something, like if I go back to when I first got lupus and I first was diagnosed with depression, I was a struggle bubble all the way. And there was no way for me to find any kind of autonomy because, for one thing, when you're teaching and driving an hour and a half either way, you just don't have the time, so you're just surviving. So if you're in that survivor mode, like, for one thing, you just got to take a step back. We all need to do that. That seems like the theme for today. Take a step back, take a deep breath. You know, you evaluate what you need in your life, because if you don't have any time to look at yourself and decide who to be, then I don't think you're living life at all. And that's another thing I'm learning right now in this moment. But I just think if you're not in the driver's seat, then what's the point? One of the intentions, because that's kind of what I'm talking about right now, right? Like, planting a word or a thought into your mind. I'm going to choose to be grateful, or I'm going to choose to be happy. That's life altering because you're affecting your subconscious mind. I lost track of what I was saying, but choice. So I'm theoretically the driver of my own car, right? The car being my life. But most people are not driving their own car. So this goes back to what I was saying in the first segment about beliefs. Like, what's really driving your car is the programming that I mentioned. Whatever your parents taught you about what life means and what it is to be an adult and what it is to be a woman or a man, or what it is to be tall or short or fat or skinny or whatever. All of those things are just running. And you can walk through life being led by your emotions without realizing it, right? So your anger is leading you one day and it's leading you on the freeway. That's something I've been struggling with lately. And you can keep doing that forever. You can keep having road rage and like letting things ruin your day and letting all of your beliefs just kind of take your life away. I'm very passionate about this now. I'm feeling it. I just really, really, really believe in autonomy. And I think that's a thing that I am most grateful for, perhaps, is that I feel like I have a choice. I have a choice of what I'm going to do for work and who's going to be in my life and all of these different things that I didn't have any say in before. So I think the ultimate goal over time in your healing is to get to that point where you're in the driver's seat. So if you're not at that point, right, like you don't feel like you have that autonomy yet, so then we go back to where to start. And like I said, that's with those intentions, with that gratitude. And I'll talk a little bit more about that after the break.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Mental Melodies. Carmen Bradley here. This is the last segment, so I have a couple more points I want to bring up, and then I guess I'll just wrap up for today. But don't you worry, I'll be back next week. So anyway, I was talking about intentions, and I think that's like, aside from, oh, actually there are so many things that I mentioned today that I want to take away from. It's like, being vulnerable, taking rest if you need it. But as a place to start, if you're like, wow, I feel a little motivated to kind of like change something, intentions is a good place to start. You just find one word, and you can make it difficult and reflect on your last day and decide what you need, or you can just pick the words that I've been posting on Instagram and use them and decide today I'm going to be grateful, or today I'm going to be focused, or whatever. And I'm going to continuously post those things so you can follow that Mental Melodies talk show. But what I wanted to do is kind of circle back to what I was talking about with the song and identity. And something I thought about is that, in order to shift from like I am sick or I have illnesses to like I am healing or I can overcome this, you have to get out of the illness being a part of your identity, and that can be really hard. So when I think back on those times when I just had to think back on those times. What's that song? Anyway, when I think back on those times, when I was teaching, I was depressed. Like that's who I was. I was traumatized. I was grieving. And it wasn't that I had those things or that I was suffering from those things. That is true. But to me, it was essentially who I was and who I became. Like I was going to be this sick person that wouldn't be able to work like a normal person, whatever that means, right? We'll problematize that over time. But I don't identify as sick anymore. I do go to therapy when I have extreme upticks that I need to deal with. And I do have a lot of tools, and I still do have body image issues, and I still do get very anxious, and I still do have emotions that overtake me sometimes, and I still do have pretty intense panic attacks, not as frequently and not daily like I used to, but I still experience all of these things. And I guess in a way, like if I were just healed and stable, I don't know that life would be boring necessarily, but I don't think that I would grow as much. So I have all these opportunities and tests in order to grow. But that's, again, a mindset thing, because like 2 weeks ago before I sat in this chair, I was feeling a little bit like, oh gosh, these things are coming up again. Like I don't have any control over them, blah, blah, blah. And maybe when they do rear their ugly heads, it feels that way, but it really is, again, a choice. You have a choice to look at those things and be like, okay, what can I heal from here? Or what was triggering me? Or do I just need to take a nap? Like that's something I have learned the hard way in the last couple of years, is just like when you're not in tune with your body, especially when you're on that hamster wheel, you just can't tell. Maybe you're just hungry, maybe you're just thirsty, maybe you're just tired. But if you're not resting and if your health is not a priority, then you're not going to realize those things. So that's something that I've had to learn, where it's like maybe I am having these uptick in symptoms, but if I sleep for 8 hours or however much I need, they dwindle down. And it's almost like we have, well, not almost, like we do, and I'll get into this in further episodes, but you just have multiple parts of yourself in your head. There's a technique, a psychotherapy technique that I know how to do, where you can go into the subconscious mind and talk to those parts, and that's where like inner child work comes in. So oftentimes when parts like that pop up and voices are talking to you, it doesn't have to be in that way, voices are talking to you. Sometimes they talk to me, but it can just be, those anxious things that you're thinking, or just like thoughts. Like if thoughts are popping up, you can see them. It doesn't mean that that's you, and we attach to our thoughts far too often, but oftentimes it's a part. Like there's something that you need, so an inner child part is popping up and asking you for that, but it doesn't know how to ask in the right way, so it's just going to make you want to cry all day or something like that. So it's a journey to learning what those voices are and what they mean for you and what parts are inside of your head and all of that. And it's interesting because the healing process can almost make you feel crazier sometimes, right? That we're not really allowed to like call people crazy, but gosh, I felt crazy at times. But when you really like, I don't know, just like take a look at it, it makes more sense than it does feel like insane and crazy. Like, I don't know. I'm going into further thoughts right now because I think I'm just planning other episodes. So hopefully it sounds interesting to you because I will talk more about it. But anyway, I think that something I've been thinking about is just making friends with and accepting those parts of myself. So like I said, maybe I've had little episodes in the past couple of weeks for a reason. And that reason being that I do need to like go swimming in the ocean with the part of myself that was really struggling and like give her a hug and tell her it's okay. Like Miley Cyrus's song is all about that. Like I was crazy and you guys all judged me, but like my frontal lobe was literally not developed. You know, you don't get graced as like a superstar because you're doing everything in front of the camera, but that's something like, you know, you get, I hesitate to say you because I don't want to overgeneralize, but for me, I've been hesitant to like go back and say hi to people who saw me at times when I was not at my best, when I was struggling with alcohol or whatever it was that I was struggling with at the time. I've given you like half of the list of the things that I've dealt with, so more to come there. But there's a lot of shame that comes with admitting all of that, and so I had to be in a place that I'm at now where I can say those things without feeling judged, but it's also because I personally am pretty far removed from it. But you can still, anyway, go back and make friends with those parts of you that were doing the best that they could. And I think it just comes down to, like, really we all are doing the best that we can in any moment. And that's something that was one of my, you call it an intention, it's also called a mantra, like in yoga, something that you repeat. But really all it is just a statement that you repeat to like help yourself or put it out into the universe or make some kind of a promise. And so something that I repeated a lot when I was first kind of really committed to my healing journey was just do the best you can, or do what you can with what you have where you are. So that means that you might not have all of the resources and you might not have all of the answers and you might not have everything that you need financially even. Maybe you don't even like get enough to eat, but you can do what you can with what you do have where you are. And you can make plans to move forward from that. And that's essentially what I did. It's just like start over and say, okay, I don't have everything that I feel that I need, but I have what I have now. What can I do with that? And that includes like the knowledge and experience. And wherever you're at, like emotionally and all of that. Let me see. I think that's it for today. We have a couple of minutes, so I will do my little shout outs. That's perfect. Okay, so if you want to sponsor my show, I think that would be really awesome. Like I said last week, there's a lot of work that goes into it, a lot of rehearsal, and I do believe that I am here sharing lots of different messages that are going to reach a lot of different audiences, and I want to do a lot of good things in the mental health world and in the performer world. So if you feel like you can support that, that would be awesome. You can just email admin@socialmediashows.com. You can watch this show every weekday at 4 p.m. I would like you to also please follow the Mental Melodies Talk Show Instagram. And if you're here, you probably also follow Social Media Shows TV, but if you don't, give that a follow. My personal Instagram, where you can see some of the stuff I'm doing with acting and singing and all of that, is Carmen_Bradley, and you can find me on Facebook. And then my last shout out is if you do want to ever come on the show and talk to me about stuff you've experienced, or if you want me to touch on a subject maybe that you're going through, you can email me, carmenbradley@gmail.com, and just let me know. And that includes just anything maybe that like I said that touched you. Maybe you want to just talk to me about it. Feel free to reach out. And just thank you again for your eyes and your ears, and I will see you next week. I know I used to be crazy. I know I used to be wild. You say I used to be wild. That's 'cause I used to be young. You tell me time has done changed me. That's fine, I've had a good run.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Hi, I'm Deacon T with Modern Word Ministries. It's great to be with you today. Just a short little promo for our show. Every Sunday morning we have service, and you can follow us at 10 a.m. Pacific Time on modernwordministries.org. And if you missed us or you want to see some of our older messages, go ahead and check us out on socialmediashows.com every single morning at 9 a.m. It's a great way to kick off your day, get a little bit of the word in you, get something uplifting, get you started off on your way. You know, if you're looking for prayer or you need some help, reach out to us. If you go to our website, again, that's modernwordministries.org, you can interact with me via telephone, via DM, text message, whatever you want. I'll get right back to you. So if you need prayer, you need help, you just need somebody to talk to, Modern Word Ministries is here for you. We are your church in the community. So until you see you next time, be blessed, everybody. Bye-bye.
Now on digital and DVD.
Did it?
Space Wars: Quest for the Deep Star is an epic sci-fi adventure.
Do what needs to be done.
An edge-of-your-seat wild ride.
We have company.
Tons of popcorn-munching fun. 5 stars. A love letter to the sci-fi films of the 70s and 80s. With plenty of action and fun for all. You need to see it. You really do.
The captain just decided it's time to go.
I am ready for a sequel. Experience a bold new adventure. Space Wars: Quest for the Deep Star.
A good old-fashioned adventure.
Now on digital and DVD.
Welcome to Social Media Shows. Have you been watching social media shows recently? Of course you have. We have been live streaming for 4 years across social media platforms. We produce over 70 shows with over 1,000 episodes. In the process, we've helped over 100 creators realize their dreams and start their own show. We give platforms to promote your business. If you are an artist, if you have an event, if you are entrepreneurs, or if you have a story. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and subscribe and follow us on major social media platforms. And if you have a great idea of a show, join us. Social media shows can help you produce and live stream your own show. Let us help you make your dream become a reality.
And welcome to the next exciting episode of
Arena War. Fresh batch of institutionalized gladiators fighting for their freedom.
Ready, here we go. You guys heard Perez?
You smell that?
Get back!
Those on the line. The parole board has offered you a ticket out. Win Arena Wars, win your freedom. 7 arenas with 7 of the most vicious killers the world has seen in the last decade. You make it out alive, you get to go home.
Luke Bender, you're an innocent man. Innocent man can mean big ratings. I'll be watching. I think it's time to audition Mr. Bender.
No! What was your last physical?
Cell block shower this morning. Oh yeah.
You ready for this? Impressive showing out there tonight. You're the new fan favorite.
Are you with me? Cutie pie back for the kill.
If you want to live through this, we have to work together. I'm watching you.
Smile for the camera, thug life.
Wow.
It's showtime!
We have to finish this. Come on!
Doesn't sound much like rehabilitation, does it?
Good morning, Las Vegas. Welcome to Rise and Shine.
Hey, this is the Rise and Shine Las Vegas. And it's really amazing because we are trying to actually break in one of the hosts today, Miss Donna Andrews.
Yes, welcome Donna Andrews to the Social Media Shows Network.
I love being
Yes, welcome to our family.
Yes.
Yes, welcome to the best.
And this is a family.
We are family.
Yes. And hoping no drama.
No, absolutely no drama.
Yes.
Yeah, we left that in high school.
Yes, we left that in high school and elementary school.
Yes. But anyways, we're gonna start with the weather. Please check it out. All right, so that's the weather in Las Vegas, honey. It's in Las Vegas. Isn't that wonderful, guys?
Yes, it
We're
is.
getting into freaking
summer.
Summer.
Yeah, I know. We're starting those swimsuit bodies.
I know, and this Sunday it's going to be 85 degrees, so I guess I'm attending church wearing my bathing suit. She's like, no, 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 no. Yes, 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 yes.
The owl will come down.
It's like he's going to get struck by lightning.
But anyway, Donna, you are from Rhode Island.
I am from Rhode Island, yes, and we don't have the sunshine like we do here. Yeah, the winter time is completely gray, very depressing, cold. I was just there a week ago for a wedding, and it was rainy in the low 50s and the 30s at night. Yeah, just not fun. The wedding was sunny, thank God.
Thank God for
thank
sunshine.
God for that. He gave us the sunshine.
Yes.
But then by the time I was ready to fly home, the clouds were coming in, and I said,
Yeah, you're
"Goodbye, back to the sunshine."
I'm going back to Vegas when it's 70 plus.
They all say, "Oh, you're coming home." I'm like, "No, I'm
No,
going to
no,
Rhode Island.
no.
My home is in Vegas." now."
Yes.
Yes.
How long you been here in Vegas?
6 years.
6 years.
It'll be 6 years in June. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And I love it here. Oh, I love it here.
Well, we're going to start with the news. After nearly 70 years, Las Vegas legendary Tropicana just closed and is set to be demolished.
Oh my.
The legendary Tropicana has closed its doors, but Las Vegas' raucous history is still celebrated in sales devoted to the mob, neon, and even divorce. Las Vegas rose like a mirage from the lonely Nevada desert in the 1940s and has since gained a reputation for looking forward and building upward without sentiment and regret. But even the most hard-hearted resident had to give pause last week when it was announced that the beloved Tropicana Resort will be demolished and replaced by a Major League Baseball stadium.
Wow.
Yes. Wow.
Wow.
A's. Yeah,
Wow.
the A's. So yeah, they are building. So that's where they're building that baseball that we were talking
stadium,
about
yeah.
few weeks ago in Rise and Shine with Stan Height. And they said it's a done deal, but Jason Haw said, no, it is just a picture.
It's just a picture.
Yeah, it's just a picture. But I know that BIG and another company was the one who actually signed up to build that place.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think it's a
gonna be
done.
big. That's a huge
Yeah,
stadium.
it's another chaotic traffic in Las
Yes.
Vegas Boulevard.
Oh God, yes. And it's always that end.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
always.
It's
I
always
call that the
Tropicana.
belly of the strip, where it's just
Oh.
so busy.
The valley of traffic.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
I was just there few nights ago, and I'm like, I don't know why my GPS took me here. I can't.
Sometimes you just need to ignore your GPS.
I know, right?
Right.
I was like, oh my God. Even you know, on that area that before the Mandalay Bay by
Town Square.
Town Square, you know, where you turn left to go 15 or west.
Yes.
And that area is still freaking traffic, and I'm like, I try to stay as far away as I could on that area, on the Las Vegas Strip, from that area that I'm talking about to I can't even stop calling me. I should have turned that off.
We have some background music going on right now. And this is the time portion for me to do a little dance, make a little love. Get down tonight. Get down tonight, yes.
Oh God, I love music.
Yeah, me too. I'm all about music and old school. This morning I was listening to Get Down, Boogie, Oogie, Oogie.
I used to sing that with my band.
Oh, there you
Yes,
go.
are you singing?
My gosh, I want to perform.
Yes, I think we're gonna make her perform on Rise and Shine.
Yes.
Yes, we're gonna make her perform.
I used to be a tenor, used to be able to reach those high notes. Now my voice got a little bit lower.
Okay.
Anyways, do you have any news?
I do. Hold on. Let me see.
Let's see. Ooh.
What I saw today.
I love surprises.
Was also on the Strip, and it's the road leading. It's Treasure Island is looking to change the name of the street. Let me see. Let me see. The road leading to the Strip Resort may soon be renamed to celebrate a milestone for the hotel and for the iconic show that has made its home there for decades. Treasure Island owner Phil Ruffin wants to rename the road running east and west between the Strip and the resort to commemorate the hotel's more than 30 years in operation and celebrate the longest running Cirque du Soleil show on the Strip.
Oh.
The resort is seeking approval from Clark County to rename Sirens Cove Boulevard to Mystere Dreams Avenue.
Ooh, yes.
In a move to honor Treasure Island and Cirque du Soleil's Mystere, which has been held at the Treasure Island since 1993.
Wow.
The same year the resort opened, according to a justification letter filed to the county's Comprehensive Planning Department by Treasure Island's executive Don Voss on behalf of Ruffin.
Wow. So you are actually you were a realtor. So how long does it take, or what does it take to get that that
to change the name of a street? That's not necessarily for realtors. That's a city, city or state. You file, for that change. And it goes through different regulations and policies, and make sure that everything.
Because one of the policy to goes into real estate because of it's like taking over that. I think.
Well, I'm not sure if that, because it's just that little street in between. So I don't know if there's any real estate that has that name, that street name currently. That Sirens Boulevard. I don't know of anything with that actual address. So then it wouldn't, if it's not affecting the addresses of the properties, it may not tie in.
Okay, got you. Got you. That's why. That's what the first thing I think, because I thought, because I don't know if they need to kind of pay to, something like that with the realtor. But if not,
okay, that doesn't.
Well, I hope you get approved, but honestly, changing the street for me is, I think it's not a good idea. You're changing. The GPS, driving to that strip already is a challenge. Yes. Now you're changing the name. Right. When you put that on GPS, you know what's gonna happen? And by the way, when you're changing addresses on GPS, on Google Maps and everything, it is a challenge. it takes you're gonna have to call at least 100 times for them to start doing something on Google.
Right.
You know that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when I used to be a director of operations, one of my locations, I have like 10 different locations in town, and one of my locations is wrong address.
Right.
And I told my employee, I said, get on Google Maps, go on the phone call. And I was actually 3 years as an executive, and I think one and a half year before it fixed.
Wow.
Yeah, I started because in the beginning, and I had a problem. One of my customers, and then more customers is saying that, hey, it's not taking me to your location, blah blah blah. So I got one of my my assistant. I told her right away. I said, get in them.
They need to update the mapping.
Yeah, update the mapping and keep on calling them every single week. And 1.5 years after.
Wow.
It was updated.
Yeah.
It is a challenge.
Yeah. I think with this one though, I mean, as long as I've lived here, I didn't even know that street existed. So, I mean,
I
have
hope
you
it's
guys,
not-
that Siren
Siren Cove, yeah,
Cove.
I take that almost every week when I have to get an Uber to go to my workplace.
Yeah,
Okay.
I always tell.
Yeah,
the
you
Uber
might not been
driver-
there, but a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
And I know that a lot of people here in Las Vegas are not familiar with that street because it's just a side street.
Right.
On
Yeah. That's why I'm
the
wondering
entrance
if
of Treasure
it's a little
Island.
easier doing that versus, okay, we're going to change Las Vegas Boulevard. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, but I love the name of Sirens Cove. The first time that I heard it, I had a visual of the Little Mermaid. Oh,
yeah.
You poor unfortunate soul, in pain, in need.
Love it. Oh my God, I love it. Ursula.
I know.
Ursula.
Anyway, yeah, he is. He's a nut.
We're gonna get
He's
along.
Nut job. I'm
He's
a
a nut
certified
job. Yeah.
nut job.
Yeah, he's a nut job.
What can we do?
But anyways, guys, that's all our news for this segment. And please go and grab your coffee and some things to, snacks. And we will be right back after these messages.
Are you looking to record or film your podcast? We have the sound room and all necessary equipment you need. Contact us for pricing and to schedule your tour.
Hi, I'm Deacon T with Modern Word Ministries. It's great to be with you today. Just a short little promo for our show. Every Sunday morning we have service, and you can follow us at 10 a.m. Pacific Time on modernwordministries.org. And if you missed us or you want to see some of our older messages, go ahead and check us out on socialmediashows.com every single morning at 9 a.m. It's a great way to kick off your day, get a little bit of the word in you, get something uplifting, get you started off on your way. If you're looking for prayer or you need some help, reach out to us. If you go to our website, again, that's modernwordministries.org, you can interact with me via telephone, via DM, text message, whatever you want. I'll get right back to you. So if you need prayer, you need help, you just need somebody to talk to, Modern Word Ministries is here for you. We are your church in the community. So until you see you next time, be blessed, everybody. Bye-bye.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
And welcome back to Rise and Shine.
Yes, welcome back, guys. Thank you, JC, for welcoming back.
Oh, avec plaisir. My pleasure, mademoiselle.
Anyways, guys, we still have Donna. She never ran away, so
No, she didn't run away yet. I'm just kidding.
I'm not going.
She's a good. She's a good. Yeah.
But anyways, guys, we're gonna go into our next news. Yesterday, Monday, was the day for sky watchers and southern Nevada and across North America. A solar eclipse has taken place, giving people a chance to observe a rare astronomical event as the moon moves between the Earth and the sun. For stargazers in Las Vegas, there was only a partial eclipse. Nevada does not fall under the path of the totality like other U.S. states.
Oh my gosh! The only thing that I could say to that is that nothing I could say. A total eclipse of the heart. Oh my.
We're gonna make we're gonna make Rise and Shine a musical morning show. You see, all we do here is we want to inspire you and kind of give you information. How if we entertain you with a musical?
So one of these days when our show is gonna be bigger, just like the Wendy show and the Oprah show, we're gonna have a live band in the back, trumpets, piano, drums, everything. And I'll be like, oh, get ready for my song.
We'll have a party. Party morning.
Yeah.
And yes, that's the accent. How do y'all say it? Party?
Yeah.
I think
But
party.
I like, yeah.
I'm potty. I say
Party. Yes.
Anyways, is eclipse comes every?
Well,
do you know?
20 years.
This one, what did they say? No, the total eclipse that we just had. That was
the
just
total,
had.
yeah.
It's been a few hundred years.
A few.
I believe. Yeah.
That's why everybody is getting
There was so much
excited.
information, and
Yeah.
that's something that's ringing in my head. I know we had in 2017 was the last eclipse that they had, but it wasn't as
This one.
complete. But they do say that lunar
Lunar eclipse.
activity caused big flood in 2017. So we'll see what happens with this one. They're wondering
one,
how that's
yeah.
going to affect.
So here's what
Whether-
I've seen on Facebook about this eclipse. Some people are saying there's going to be human sacrifice.
Oh Lord!
And then it's the rapture. So a lot of Christians are going to be raptured and they're going to be leaving their clothes behind. So we'll see if I see a Versace over there on the floor. So Versace on the floor. So
You know, that's really funny. I actually posted a few days ago, or last week, I think. I said, oh my God, what did I said? That the eclipse is coming up and people are actually getting weirder and weirder,
Weird,
including myself.
Everybody's starting to act a little cuckoo.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's the
Yeah.
reason why she's cuckoo.
And one of our friends on social media said, I really don't care about this eclipse. Okay, but when something weird will happen.
Right. Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh
So
my-
have you guys seen it?
Did I see it? No.
The eclipse?
I wish I could
Just
see
on
one.
TV. I watched what they showed on TV. I'm not going to take the chance. And even though we wouldn't have even had a complete, I'm not looking at the sun. I don't want to ruin my eyes.
Yeah, right?
I had surgery so I wouldn't have to wear
Yeah,
glasses.
no, that's
so I don't
that's
wanna
kind of.
mess that up.
I remember back in the Philippines, we put this big what do you call that? Palangana? What do you call that?
Oh yeah, like a basin.
Yeah, like a big basin, and we put water in there, and that's how we look.
Oh,
at
the
it.
eclipse, yeah.
Yeah, because we don't look in the.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's smart.
there's an eclipse. So we
That's a smart way of assuming the eclipse.
All the kids are like, oh my God, and we don't even know what we're looking at.
But you did say, do you remember? Wow, that's kind of cool though.
Yeah, but we don't know what
gosh.
we're really looking. We just heard our parents and there's
Right.
eclipse, and we need to sit down on that basin, like, oh, you know. And I'm telling you, I don't even know what I'm looking at. I remember that day.
Oh my
I'm like,
goodness.
oh, okay, that's eclipse, okay. That's
But it makes me wonder, like, did anyone even attempt to do that? You know, they have the glasses
Yes,
and all of
yes.
this, you know. But did anyone think to be over a body
in the
of
field,
water somewhere?
in my town, yeah. In my
Yeah.
town, yeah, we do that. Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
a lot of neighbors did that. The parents actually put the freaking basin
Yeah.
with water, and and 6 of us, right, my siblings.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, and then some neighbors, and then we're like sitting down in there watching. Come on, watch the. Yeah.
So I received 2 advices on how to view the eclipse. One was what do you call this? Scientific, and the other one was unscientific. It was, what do you call this? You know that belief that they have in the provinces in the Philippines.
What is it?
There's a word for that. When people say that. Somebody told me don't look at directly into the eclipse because it's going to give you bad luck. So that's one.
Yeah, it's gonna burn your eyes out.
That's the bad luck right there. Yeah, the bad luck is you gonna get blinded.
Yeah. And then the other advice is that you can't look directly into it because it could burn your eyes. But once the sun is actually totally eclipsed by the sun, that is the only time that you can look at it, but not while it's shifting.
Right. They said that for literally like a few seconds while it's centered.
Yeah, it has to be
You can look at
centered,
it and just there's that outline. What do they call that? The diamond?
The corona.
Well, the corona, but they were talking
Yeah.
yesterday about the diamond.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
yes, the corona.
Yes.
But it's very quick, and they say even that, you know, because that way you can kind of see the spurts of the sun.
Yes, of the sun.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you
Yeah, I
can
think
look
I
at it
seen
when it's
that in the basin.
Yeah. Oh, now I remember the word that I was looking for. My short-term memory loss. Superstitious.
Superstitions. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. the
yeah.
superstitious
Well, yeah. That's
belief.
our hey, I just want to know on the on the spiritual and the religious side.
Oh, God.
What is the eclipse all about? Do you guys know? Because
well-
and the science,
Right, I know
yeah,
the science
we're talking
side
about
of
that,
it,
but
I'm not sure
how
how
about
it
in the
affects
religion?
in the biblical side, they say that there shall be signs and wonders up in the sky, but that's all it is.
That is all.
Like
signs and wonders.
signs and wonders, and people will see things happening in the sky, and it's like a precursor to the upcoming events leading to the end times.
Okay.
But it's, to me, because I believe in the biblical end times, it's happening really slow. You know, I mean, that's
Yeah,
what
well,
believe.
I also heard that I this probably is just a joke, but I know it's a joke. They so the sun and the moon are starting to mate.
Mm-mm.
So so are they actually what happened? So if they mate, so what is their baby? A new planet?
Aren't they like millions of miles apart?
They're going to give birth to Superman.
I told you it is funny.
They're going to give birth to Kryptonian.
It's not real. I know it's not real, but I just have to bring that up. Oh my god. Yeah, they're mating. What?
Yeah.
Oh my
wanna see
god.
that.
No, they cannot mate because they cannot give birth to what? New
Yeah.
planet?
Oh Lord, a new Earth.
Yeah, new Earth, right?
Oh my
God.
goodness. That is
Yeah,
too much. Too much.
Exactly. Well,
Too much.
anyways, well, I'm just gonna go on the my last news. And then we're gonna go on a quick break, and we can go with others. But anyways, hey, Kenny Wong. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the last name right. The bartender brings the liquidity of Legacy Club. Okay, so we're talking about the bartending competitions around the globe. So one of our person here in Las Vegas, Kenny Wong, actually is one of the top 20, I think, top 20 bartenders around the world, and he
made the top 20 list.
He made, yes, and he is actually sitting down on the 6th floors up atop Circa in downtown Las Vegas. Recently, Wong advanced to the national top 20 in the United States bartenders. United States. I thought it's around the world. It says global. That's why I said around the globe. Bartenders Guild presents World Class. There you go. A global bartending competition is sponsored by Dragon, the multinational beverage behemoth. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Behemoth?
Behemoth.
Behemoth.
To advance to the top 20 or top 30, also top 30, not 20, bartenders around the world has no fashion signature. I just got this earlier. Signature cocktails using products from the Diogen Bar Academy. Wong created Inhale, which draws inspiration from a chocolate mint candy he enjoyed at a restaurant while growing up. So wow. I wanna try that drink.
What is the drink?
It says Inhale.
That's the name of the drink.
Yeah. So he wants. It says over here, Wong wanted you to inhale.
Does it say what's in it?
I need to inhale.
That's a chocolate. It's
just chocolate mint.
Yeah, chocolate mint candy.
Well, what's in the drink?
Mint candy.
Oh well, they didn't say, but
okay.
yeah, but you see, it's a mixology, so they mix with different different alcohol.
Yeah.
But I love. I used to love that that shot that has Irish.
The Baileys.
Yeah, yes.
Baileys cream.
Yes, I forgot the name of the shot, but it's really funny. It is a
orgasm?
nipple.
Oh, the oh my God, I should know this.
Yes, right.
Yes, the it is a nipple.
Nipple, yes, something nipple thing
God.
shot. Yes, butter nipple shot.
Oh my God, the what?
Butter nipple shot? No.
Butter nipple shot.
Butter nipple.
It's made with butter shots.
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Yeah, but it's the nipple. Oh,
yes,
God,
yes.
I'm a licensed bartender, so I remember.
That is. I think it's a rum. They put rum in there.
With the butter shots?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, so that's my very first favorite shot before. It's because of that.
What's the name of that?
Because of that Baileys. And I tried to make it, and I couldn't make it the way they do it, so I gave up. But
slippery nipple.
That was
Yeah.
Slippery nipple butter shot, something like that. Yeah. I used to love that.
Oh my God.
But then I turned into a patron. I just like my patron shot. That's
She's Miss Patron.
Yeah, that's that.
So if you want to buy her a drink, buy her a Patron.
Yes.
Tequila.
Yes. I always have a Patron in my house. Never.
Yes.
I like the either the Reposado or Añejo. I don't like the white tequilas. Yeah, they're smoother.
Oh.
Yeah. And the extra Añejo Patron. Oh my God, it's so good.
No, I can't. I tried different type of tequila. My body, I just get drunk. I throw up and I get drunk easily. But if it's Patron, I can drink 23 shots.
But that is Patron.
Yeah. Oh, that's Patron.
It's Patron.
Oh, really?
They're different types of tequila.
Oh,
I want the golden.
Yes.
They're a lot smoother. You won't get sick on those.
No, I got sick
unless you drink the bottle.
I got sick. I know what you're talking about now. Those are kind of like flavored.
No, it's just that they're made differently. They're made in the way they're
Yeah, they are not flavored. I know what you're. Yeah, I know.
Is it like
Yes,
that?
I know what you're talking about because one of our person here before, he actually liked those type, and I
You don't
tried
like
it.
them?
No,
Oh my God, I
no.
love it.
Because I don't know, but I want that white one. For me, it's more smooth than any other.
Oh my God, okay.
Yeah, it's that I know. People said, "What the heck?" They thought that I am a freaking heavy drinker, like literally. But I can drink a lot more on that the Patron that I
clear.
have, the clear one, more than anybody that I know. They're like, no. I remember
She's so small.
I remember Russell was like, I think I drank at that night. I drank 23 shots, and our friend, he probably drank 3 to 5, and he just literally went ballistic and breaking everything.
Oh no.
And I drank 23, and I am calm.
23.
Yeah.
Women.
I know alcohol level. Yes.
Well, I drink with the water. Like drink. That's my secret. Is you drink 1 shot. Make sure you drink one bottle of water, and then take. I took like.
In how much of a time frame did you have that?
I had it from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Oh my God.
Remember, right?
You're lucky to be alive.
I think. I don't know.
It's a miracle. Oh my God.
I'm like, what? Well, I told everybody that I only drink 13, but we are in a live show when I'm drinking, so.
Oh my gosh.
So I went back to the whole 6-hour show, and I count every. You know, it's not a repeated show, right? It's not a replay. It is literally from 8 to 2 a.m. show. And you can I was like 1. I was like literally counting it, and it's
oh my God.
I counted on that show 21 shots, but how many more I drank behind the camera? That's why I just said no, 23. It won't be more than that.
So just for you guys to know, Maria is not made out of water. She's made out of Patron.
She is
tequila.
not human. Wow, she's a walking tequila bottle.
Yeah, she is a walking tequila bottle.
Oh, by the way, I actually drank at West Hollywood. I drank at West Hollywood, in the middle of West Hollywood. So I love that part. Yeah.
Oh,
okay, anyways,
goodness.
Wow.
I got drunk in West Hollywood.
Me too.
Anyways, I wanna really go and see Kenny Wong and check that inhale drink.
Yes, and we'll be drinking it here in the Rise and Shine show.
Yes, right. You're right.
And where at top of where?
Circa.
Circa.
Yes, at Circa. Go and check it out. He's one of our very own top 30 bartenders in the United States.
Yeah. But it's interesting because you did read Global, and Global is around the world.
Well, yes. Yeah. Well, I think they're saying that he is top 30 in the United States, but we don't know around the globe. Maybe, yeah.
Globally. Okay.
Meaning they actually, that's what I was realizing earlier when I was typing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then I realized that, oh no, he in the United States he's top 30 doesn't mean that around the globe competition he is top 30.
Okay.
Only in the,
Yeah.
yes. But I think they were like saying that, this is the Review Journal, by the way. I think the Review Journal was trying to promote him in our state because he is our own in Las Vegas.
Makes sense.
Yes, yeah. But congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Anyways, guys, we're gonna go on a break again. When we come back, we have a lot more for you guys. I have 2 more that I want to talk about, our outreach program and some few events in Las Vegas. Oh gosh. That's what I forgot. The events. There's a lot of events. It's
Yes,
local
so
events
many
too.
events here in Vegas.
Yes. But anyways, we're gonna go on a break.
Okay.
We'll
Don't
see
go
you guys
anywhere.
soon.
Come back.
Welcome to Social Media Shows. Have you been watching social media shows recently? Of course you have. We have been live streaming for 4 years across social media platforms. We produce over 70 shows with over 1,000 episodes. In the process, we've helped over 100 creators realize their dreams and start their own show. We give platforms to promote your business. If you are an artist, if you have an event, if you are entrepreneurs, or if you have a story. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and subscribe and follow us on major social media platforms. And if you have a great idea of a show, join us. Social media shows can help you produce and live stream your own show. Let us help you make your dream become a reality.
John is an employee at one of the most famous firms in the city of New York, so his job is very hectic, and he realized that it is necessary for him to go and finally take a vacation. But he went on a vacation without planning out the details, and wasn't able to truly enjoy where he went because he had to think about so many things that he didn't plan for. Instead of enjoying his time away from work, he came back with more stress that he was not able to take full advantage of his vacation. But this year, a coworker suggested him to try World Ventures this time to make his vacationing more enjoyable and less stressful. They do not require you to plan anything outside of your transportation, which is also available at discounted rates. Your stay, your transport, and many meals are planned by the club. John liked the idea very much. He tries World Ventures, and his experience with the club was amazing, as he made many friends there with whom he had a great time. John recommends that everyone should try this club, as they are the best in business. See how the VIP-vacation-club.com can give you the right experience without all the hassle. Enjoy the VIP experience that only World Ventures provide.
Now on digital and DVD.
Did it?
Space Wars: Quest for the Deep Star is an epic sci-fi adventure.
Do what needs to be done.
An edge-of-your-seat wild ride.
We have company.
Tons of popcorn-munching fun. 5 stars. A love letter to the sci-fi films of the 70s and 80s. With plenty of action and fun for all. You need to see it. You really do.
The captain just decided it's time to go.
I am ready for a sequel. Experience a bold new adventure. Space Wars: Quest for the Deep Star.
A good old-fashioned adventure.
Now on digital and DVD.
Hi, welcome back to Rise and Shine, and we are coming to you with a hot topic of the week. There were 3 people dead following a shooting that occurred yesterday morning during a deposition at a law office in Summerlin. A man shot a man and a woman in the office and then took his own life at about 10 a.m., according to Clark County Sheriff Kevin McMail. Details on the identities of those who died are not available. McMahill said investigators have a theory about the relationship between the shooter and his victims, but would not disclose that. The shooting occurred inside offices of Prince Law Group, a personal injury, insurance law, and commercial firm on the 5th floor of the City National Bank building at 10801 West Charleston Boulevard, according to a source, who said a lawyer had been targeted during deposition proceedings. Las Vegas police had responded to the scene, which is a short distance from the Red Rock Resort.
Wow. Did they tell you what law office?
Yeah, what did I say? Personal injury? It's the Prince Law Group, a personal injury, insurance law, and commercial firm.
Yeah, my daughter actually worked in a law firm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in accident law firm. That's the reason I asked
Yeah,
that. Because,
yeah.
But that's not their company.
Yeah.
Hale, Hale, law firm. Actually, my daughter works there. If you guys have any accidents on the road, go ahead and what do you call that? Message me. I can give you their telephone number right away. They're really, really good. So yeah.
That is scary, though.
It is scary, yeah.
Yeah, there's shootings every day.
Yes. And then it says that in the middle of deposition.
Yeah, so Our hearts
crazy.
go out to the
Yes.
innocent victims.
Yes.
You know, God, here's the deal. When they do the deposition, I wish that these law firms have their own security just actually, because when they're doing the deposition, they are literally asking all these questions to the, to the person, and kind of like accusing them.
Right.
And they probably get so mad at you. And if you, let's say you are a woman, or you're they need some kind of maybe cop in the building,
They should
or
have some security.
security
checkpoint.
on that security on that office.
Mhm.
Yes, a checkpoint.
A checkpoint.
Yes.
Yeah. No weapons. No.
Right.
Weapons.
So it should, that's crazy. But
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, oh my God. Yeah, the deposition office, these law firms should have start spending some money for that kind of security.
And I understand it's a carry state, but I still have to get used to that. I just
Yeah.
feel like guns don't need to be everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, here's the deal: this is not just everywhere, but it is in a law firm where deposition is really a very sensitive matter, that they start talking about things. So like what I said, you start questioning this guy. Oh, did you kill this person?
Right.
And I think that person must have like, no, I didn't do that. And the conversation, God, I can't. Yeah, I'm trying to put myself in that situation right now. If I'm a lawyer and I'm like, God.
We'll have to see if they get more information.
Yes. Everything will come up. And I think that's the reason why my daughter was calling me too. Because of the shooting.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay, daughter. But anyways, you have something.
I have something, but before I read this wonderful news, I just want to say that here at Social Media Shows Network, our hearts go out to the innocent victims who got shot.
Yes.
So, on the lighter side of the news, is that Universal Studios will open up an attraction here in Las Vegas, and don't expect it to be a full-on Universal Studios attraction, because it's not going to be that. It'll focus more on their horror movies. So according to the Hollywood Reporter, and this is an article, I'm reading an article by Abby White. It says Universal Destinations and Experiences reveals name of Las Vegas horror attraction. Ooh, I love horror. I just watched The First Omen last night. Anyhow, Universal's Horror Unleashed will be a year-round experience that dips into the company's extensive library of horror IP for immersive experiences while offering themed food. Oh my gosh.
Food.
Except creepy looking food. Seasonal events and merchandise. Universal Destinations and Experiences has conjured up a name for its Vegas horror attraction. Universal Horror Unleashed will be the home of the Comcast NBC Universal Division's bid to expand its deep genre catalog into a year-round horror experience announced back in January, following its growing success with the seasonal bi-coastal event Halloween Horror Nights. Ooh. Wow. Universal Horror Unleashed is another way we are using our unique style of horror storytelling to engage fans of this genre, said Paige Thompson, President, New Adventures, Universal Destination and Experiences. We look forward to bringing frightful fun to Las Vegas year-round. Ooh. So the company's first ever permanent horror attraction, take note of the word permanent, attraction, will be located in Area 15. Ooh, I love it.
Wow.
Close to my neighborhood. As the located in Area 15 as the anchor tenant in a 20-acre expansion of the immersive entertainment district of Las Vegas. It already includes District 1, which opened in 2020 with 200,000 square feet of space and another 100,000 planned for District 2. The horror experience will combine Universal's long-standing horror expertise with immersive experiences designed for an all-new format. So, there you go.
That's that big building going up right on the, like, just between Area 15 and Palace. There's a huge
Oh,
building
wow,
out there.
yes,
Now, I
yes.
guess that's what that's going to be.
Make-
I'm like, what is going in there? It's
Yes,
huge.
yes, yeah.
The walls were put, the walls go up in a day here.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
And it's huge.
Yes.
I know JC would be the first person in there.
We're gonna have to be there. Rise and Shine is gonna have to be there to cover it.
I know, right? Yeah, we are
Yes.
covering you now, so you hire us.
Yeah.
But anyways, on the outreach program side, homelessness is a problem everywhere, but
Yes,
Nevada
it is.
specifically sees more children living in the streets than most states across the United States. I'm not gonna read what he said, but Gregory spoke with 8 News Now Thursday about the tough times he's been through. I think Gregory is a homeless person here in Las Vegas, and there's a lot of kids in the streets, more than any place in planet Earth. No, in the United States, the country.
Okay.
But anyways, guys, the reason why I bring this up is there is a lot of help. Call 211, and you guys can actually get a lot of outreach programs in Las Vegas, assistance, how to get these kids, your relative kids, to at least get a shelter, because that is terrible.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Yes.
How I can't, if I have to go and get some kids on the street to bring into my, I have a place, 3-bedroom, living by myself.
Right.
I have a plan.
I know.
You know what I mean? Hey, I'll come sleep over here one night without their parent, because I am gonna be scared. You know what I mean?
Right.
We'll work something out.
Yeah, you work something out, but that's
Yeah.
it is. I wouldn't mind that kind of thing.
Yeah, I would love to if we had the means
Yeah.
to just take on one of these empty, vacant, huge
Yeah.
properties and just make it a shelter for the kids. And obviously, you've got to come in and want to help yourself. No trouble, no issues, but bring them in, give them some place, and then give them some love, because they're not.
Give them some
they're
love, and
kids,
you
you
could
know,
give
and
them
that's
some-
all they really need.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, talking about giving some love, I just want to actually, because I am actually on my TikTok, Danny Minor, stop putting your podcast early in the morning, because now I cannot get off on that. Danny actually, well, I never really commented on Danny's podcast except awesome, but this time I did, because I think he has this news earlier where there's a 20-year-old guy throw himself out of the cruise ship that him and dad went to. Okay.
Oh wow.
So threw himself out of the cruise ship.
Wow.
And now they cannot find the body. Off.
Yeah, like he jumped.
He jumped out of the ship.
Oh, God.
He thought it's actually the Titanic. No.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, so now they cannot find the body.
Yeah.
So what happened was, according to Danny Minor, this kid, 20-year-old, was drinking so hard on the ship, and he's like literally drinking. So the dad came in and said something to this child that you are so drunk, blah blah blah, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna take care of this right now, and jump off.
Oh my God. Oh, that's.
And then I was like, holy cow.
Oh, that's sad.
So there's a comment.
That wasn't good.
This comment is this. This is what child abuse, mental illness these kids get from their dad.
Wow.
And I was like,
no.
what the heck are you talking out.
No.
This kid has a bad behavior. Dad said, you are drinking so much.
Yes.
Why do you think it's a child abuse or child, whatever, when the dad brought this kid to the cruise ship to have time together?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's deeper than that.
Yeah, no. This is not, I said, you stop
Accusing the dad.
Stop blaming the dad.
Yes.
It's not the
You don't even know the whole.
no. Well, no.
Everything.
Here's the deal. He told me that I don't know the whole story, and he said, "Me too. I don't know exactly."
So they
you
don't
should
assume.
and said,
Yeah.
"Listen," I said. The comment should be, hope they find the kid so that the dad feels better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, don't blame the dad already feeling that.
Oh my God.
Feeling. Can you imagine?
Yes. Oh.
Can you imagine
No.
the kid take a suicide because of one thing that you said?
That's rough.
That came into my mind right away. But after I see the comment, I'm like, I jump in. I'm like, I don't normally jump in like that, but I'm a parent, and I scold my kids. I freaking beat my kids growing
my
up
God, me too.
because that's not abuse. That is tough love.
Tough love. It is tough love. Yeah.
And this kid, this person might not be a dad, so that's why he doesn't know. But he still don't, the dad already feeling. Can you imagine how the dad is feeling? That's my biggest concern. I'm not even I'm sorry, but I'm not even concerned for the kid that jumped off. I'm concerned now with the living person.
So not to play devil's advocate, but I think that this is the tip of the iceberg. I mean, the way I'm seeing it is that stuff has been happening with that father and son for a long time.
Possibly.
Because it can't be that just for like one comment or like you're gonna jump immediately.
Yeah, they probably
It's probably.
But I mean,
a
you're
long-
also talking about someone who was extremely inebriated. He drank too much.
Right.
So that puts a whole nother
Inebriated,
level.
and plus all those things piled up,
Right.
like one on top
Right.
of.
But
of
there's
the
got to
other.
be something.
Something
Yeah,
underlying.
there is,
Right.
there is something big,
Yeah.
but like what I said, the kid is gone, but I really hope that they will find him.
Right.
Oh my God.
But in the middle of the ocean, I don't think so.
I know. But
Yeah, but
not having closure.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Well, what I'm really caring right now is the living person, because that's what should be taken care of right now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. The father is traumatized now.
Yeah.
He's scarred for life.
And then hopefully he doesn't do something to himself.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Sometimes
yeah.
it's a chain reaction. And
It is, yeah. And that's why I was like, oh God, come on, don't say that. You.
Wow.
MF. I'm sorry, I'm not going to say that.
Mother Fletcher?
But I don't know how I jumped into homelessness into this. I don't know how I jumped in. I don't know how I jumped into from the homelessness to that.
And she jumped ship.
I just jumped ship right there.
But her hair's still beautiful.
Right.
Yeah. It's like a Pantene
commercial.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anyways, that is a really good show, guys. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Phenomenal.
I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope we gave you some information that you need to know, and some great news and events and everything here on social media shows. And on behalf of my co-hosts, we are going to see you again pretty soon. Please don't forget to watch this Rise and Shine Las Vegas every single day, Monday to actually Saturday at 11 a.m. on social media.
And with our new star.
Oh, yes. Thank you,
Yes.
Dubai.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yay.
Come on, everybody.